Yeah, well, you know what? I was thinking like, hey, it'd be cool if there was like a red hair person in real life.
I mean,
they do exist.
I mean, but they say redhead, but it's really orange. It's really orange.
You mean like the bright red?
Like
you want that anime hair.
Yeah. I want the Super
It's called
Saiyan
Anime
Rose.
Expo.
yeah, it's like, wait, what? Like, hold it.
I thought like so like you start dating someone and then like you get like a present like to dye their hair. So I'll be the host for today. Welcome to Taco Otaku. Ivan and I'll be conducting.
Oh, the
Okay.
music man himself.
Uh-huh.
How fitting.
To my left I have Miles.
Oh, hello, everyone. Hello.
Across from me I have Frank.
Knarf today.
Knarf.
Backwards day.
And to my right I have Ray.
What's up, people?
Yar.
We're trying to say our name backwards. So I was thinking of adding a stage name to myself. And of course, I'll be Navi.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're just ready for the Zelda fans.
Yeah.
Fitting for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can start off with the news if anyone has any news.
News? All right. I guess I will go first with the few news since we kind of it's for you listeners, it's the same course, but for us it's a little bit quick. But hey, scheduling, it's fun. So this week, I think one of the biggest things that happened was how fitting the Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom direct we got by Mr. Anuma himself. He gave us a little taste of what you see. Did everyone see this little direct?
I saw the gameplay.
Okay.
I have, of course.
I did not.
You did not. Okay. Well, I guess I'm kind of taking over the segment question mark.
Are you?
I guess so. It's my news segment. Gosh darn it. What do you think, Frank? Are you sold? How do you feel about this Tears of the Kingdom? You feeling better, worse, the same?
I want the Switch.
You want the special edition?
Yeah. It's interesting. The fusion stuff. It was like I think it's gonna be too much for me. We were just talking about too much customization.
Too much choices.
Yeah.
On Fire Emblem, but it looks fine. I like the new long hair look for
The Frank look?
bias reasons.
Same barber.
I need to get it the golden.
You gotta get the. We can make this happen. Cosplay. Here we go.
But the thing that I'm kind of like not looking forward to is if they take away that look and it's like, oh, we're gonna go back to. So I'm hoping it's you start off with the blue look from the old game and then transition to the green look.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's not the other way around. The new play gimmicks like fusing stuff, creating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I'll figure. It's just for puzzles for me, so it's not like mind blowing. I'm still waiting for co-op.
You still hoping for the co-op?
I'm still hoping.
Man's a believer.
I never.
Man's
You
a
know
believer.
what? When you like
Surprises.
the Clippers, you never stop believing.
This is true. This is true. That's all they know. What about you, man? How do you feel about the fusion of the Minecraft in your Zelda games?
I don't know. The thing with me is that the more I'm realizing, I think like you mentioned, Ray, as we're watching it, is I feel like this is like a 1.5. It's not really like new per se. I was like, hey, now you can fuse this and this together and make this. I guess kind of like Kirby-esque. I guess that's the way I put it. Like, you can put like a fan, because they show you put a rock and you put a fan, you can put them together, and now it's like a stick rock, right?
Right.
I mean, the only thing that worries me is that they're gonna add like a bunch of vehicles. Like the car, a lot.
I was relieved about that.
I had some PSD from like Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts, and I'm like, oh no, not again.
They're all in on the crafting. I don't know.
And I feel like the problem with me is that that's cool with crafting all the stuff they're trying to do and the time things like that. We still don't have any story beats.
Save the princess.
And there's really no other than like, look at the system you could do here. Look, you can like no, you don't have the secret thing. Now you have an arm. What about the arm? What about the sword?
We'll get to it eventually, apparently.
And I feel like just little by little, I feel like you're gonna tease us like one final trailer, right? The final like before launch day. Here it is, like what's going on,
like a story beat. Maybe, I guess. I mean, I feel like that the first trailer they showed like forever ago kind of give you, oh, Ganondorf's down there, the other incarnation of Ganon. Oh no, we didn't get both Ganons. I don't know. We'll see.
And it means that how from what how the Switch can handle loading, like going from the top and the bottom. That's my curiosity. There's like there's the sky
Old hardware.
Was it Skylands or Sky? I don't know what they call it. Sky Islands? Yeah, Sky Islands.
There you go. Angel Island.
Yeah, but it's like like how
I don't chuckle.
Like every time I saw it when he like when he was like going up, trying to go back up to the island, like imagine loading the process, like leaving the ground. Like how does that work, right?
Well, I think it's far enough so that they can get away with it.
Yeah, I am grateful because I know that seems to be early on the show that even more so this direct of the verticality of look at all these islands and things to go and climb more upwards. Of like, well, people bitched about like the climbing stamina meter in Breath of the Wild, and so the shortcuts where you just swim to the top with your magical items, that makes sense to me. And that was because then the show in that direct once again is he had to take like an elevator to take all the way up to the islands. And it's just like, I'm not sure if everyone wants to do that. I personally don't mind that, but I feel like it get old. But thankfully, it looks like there'll be like some shortcuts and items and weapons that'll help you travel and traverse the new lands a little bit quicker and faster. So I don't know, but like I said, I've said before on the podcast, I'm like probably the least Zelda fan. I'm still a fan of Zelda, but it's just the least fan of Zelda. So I am still excited about it. And I don't know, I guess we sold you on the verticality of this. Wait, have you played Breath of the Wild? Was my first question.
Negative.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Nabi, come on.
It's in your name.
I did maybe like 15 minutes or something like that. I just remember it was like almost alienish.
Well, yeah, it is difficult if you're used to Zelda games and playing that game. It is kind of like, wait, huh?
Let me ask you, what was the last Zelda game you played?
I think it was Majora's Mask again on 3DS.
Okay, so, nice save. But only the 3DS version, not the 64 version.
I haven't.
I actually haven't played that version either. I should.
And I did play a little bit of the Wind Waker. Is that the one that came out on the Wii U?
GameCube? No, it's GameCube. The Twilight Princess?
No, on the GameCube. I mean, the Wii U as a remake. It was a Wind Waker, right?
They did both technically. Is it the cartoony one or the realistic one?
Cartoony.
That's Wind Waker.
Yeah, so I played maybe like a couple of hours of that one. That's the thing. I'm kind of agree with you with about Zelda games. I like them, but it's not some of the games like I finished through. I'll stop and then I'll pick it up again, and that's kind of high. For example, when it came to like Breath of the Wild and let's say Mario Odyssey, like I finished Mario Odyssey one run. Like I never stopped. And Zelda, I played 15 minutes and stopped.
Oh, now I know who the new Zelda hater is on the podcast.
Yeah.
Never would.
I mean, you don't play 12 hours straight and just like no sleep or anything. Just like I gotta get through. Granted, though, Breath of the Wild, they did change a lot of like structure with the puzzles, things like that kind of. I'm hoping that's in there. They didn't show any of the puzzles or.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the direct was like 15, 20 minutes.
Isn't it like aren't they using the same world?
It's the same world, but I guess the landscape has changed supposedly to a certain degree to make it feel refreshing. But it is, and I don't know. It's hard to say because I haven't played it, but from looking at it, yeah, it does look more like what Miles put as the 1.5.
That's what I heard, and some people are saying it's just like a DCL.
Yeah.
Well, but originally it was.
DLC.
No, I remember said a couple years, like a while ago, that originally it was a DLC for Breath of the Wild, but it was so big and massive that they decided, no, just making the whole game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it feels. It looks and feels like it's like a. Oh, look, now you can do this. You can go up now. I don't know. I'm excited for it. But I feel like I don't know what the future of Zelda's after this. Are we doing the same thing again, or are we doing something different, or going back to the roots?
But yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I took advantage of it because I have the Costco, and the Costco I paid $80, then use that $80 to buy $100 worth of Nintendo money to then acquire that game and the Advance Wars that comes out this month. So
everyone say goodbye to Ray now.
Yeah, pretty much. You get ready for the Advance Wars podcast.
Wait, but Ray, I remember from last time, wasn't the Fire Emblem the DLC coming out next week? Oh, you're gonna be busy.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to quit my job. That's all I know. It's the only way I'm gonna finish all these games. Let's see what else news here. I guess this is the other big news is, and I know not everyone's like the biggest video game industry person here on the panel today, but E3 is dead. Does everyone know what E3 is?
It can't be dead. It's never alive. It can't be dead, Ray. It's never alive.
There you go. Apparently,
I did see that.
Did they cancel it?
Or they officially canceled it because I brought it up a few weeks ago. I think on episode 3 of the podcast.
Yeah.
And I talked about it's not looking good, but yeah, they officially pulled the string because we talked about the big three, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony is out. And then they're hoping the big third parties like Ubisoft, Sega, and a couple other people were going to help fill in the gaps. And I guess they didn't. They decided to pull out. And so now it's just dead. And
they're reimagining it for a later future E3
well, they're
events.
saying that. But if this was the year they needed to come strong to make it like, no, E3's back. We know what this is the future of E3. They got a whole new. They got the PAX people to help design it and revamp it for a new generation. But they canceled the show. So. To me, it's over. It's the ESA, the whole idea of the E3 as we once knew it, growing up in the 2000s, where binge watching press conference after press conference, the big dump of video game news, it's dead. And I guess Jeff Keighley is going to enjoy his Doritos and soda pop doing his summer game fest.
As he puts his roll back on. Good.
Pretty much. So yeah, I don't know. It's sad, but I guess it's not surprising. I guess I personally thought we were gonna have we're gonna do this year and it's gonna have a big wet fart and then it's gonna die, but it didn't even do that. So it's like
it died for maybe it did for the best, right?
I mean, it was the inevitable. I feel like, but I wanted to see one more shot. One more try.
Last year with the. Remember, like the slideshow, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna change it up. We're going
LeBron James is gonna be there, sign autographs.
Yeah, we're gonna have like special booths. You can come around and you can dunk basketballs. Like, what is this?
And that's how Space Jam happens. Remember, because his son went to the E3.
Kids come in
game development thing, which is like that's not how that works. There's no game developers at all. It's just a press junket, but okay. Nerdy things.
I remember the last one was bad, right? The last.
It was it's been what was the last one 2019 and that wasn't stellar because I remember maybe it was like Giant Bomb or someone else like they walked around and been like there's no one here and there's like crickets the whole show floor and because I remember once again the 2000s growing up E3 and like I was like a kid with the popcorn and we talked about when Paul was on the podcast like that was our big day our big weekend oh boy and like those days are just gone
having video game coverage on TV and
24/7 felt like it's over, man.
The internet,
just pop it up on YouTube and put on the social medias, and we get all the eyeballs we want. And
the best part, it costs them no money because they don't worry about paying the fees to go.
Right, they don't have to pay no one to rent, have to rent out the space, put up the big Zelda statue, and this and that. It's just throw it on the web and call it a day.
I'm sorry.
Why'd you do this to me, Frank?
Money.
Pretty much. Then the more two quick ones is apparently I forgot about this, but I guess Scott Pilgrim is getting an anime done by Cyru, the Devilman Crybaby people.
Yeah, Yusura, right?
Yeah, the big famous anime director. I'm not sure if they said his name is on it, but it's his studio, so I'd be surprised if he's not somewhat involved on it. And then the other interesting part is, so it's done by them, very popular, well-known anime studio, and then also they have all the American actors from the Edgar Wright adaptation also working on this anime to provide the voices, and Edgar Wright himself is also like a producer on the show and also the original creator of Scott Pilgrim.
So it actually might be better than actual manga or the
comic book.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. I do remember that movie came out in like a decade of
2010. Oh, 13 years now.
I just saw it maybe like a week ago.
Oh yeah.
I still like it.
Still holds up?
I like it. It's a funny movie.
Yeah, it's pretty much...
It's probably the best version of...
anime live action?
Yeah, it's the best version of the original story, because you read the comic book, I think the movie did a better way, pacing-wise, and doing everything than the book did.
I could never... Yeah, I tried to read the comic after I saw the movie, and I just couldn't... It was almost like once we talked about last time with Trigun, it was like, I think I know what's happening in this panel, but I really don't know what's happening in this panel. So yeah, and I feel like the Edgar Wright movie kind of made more sense out of it. Maybe the editing of film, right?
Yeah, because I think his style is very quick. The scenes come out quicker because that's how the book is. It's quicker, and so you don't have to think about what's going on because we're just moving on to the next scene.
All right, so that's something I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, we get that. It's coming out through Netflix, I believe.
The only thing I remember from that is the part where they go, bread makes you fat. And he's like, bread makes you fat? What?
The vegan?
And I had the same reaction. I'm like, I didn't know that. Like,
gotta be careful.
Gotta stop eating bread.
Carbs are bad.
The best scene that I like is the one where she's like, is Scott here? And then you just see him like grab his jacket. And then he just crashes out of the window.
Yeah.
He just left. And he goes back.
Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah. That was a funny movie. I should rewatch. I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, but
It still
I have a
holds up.
copy.
I think it still holds up.
And then the last thing I have note here, well, literally just a date. Hey, by the time this episode comes out, you just enjoyed the first episode of Demon Slayer Season 3, folks, on April 9th. That's coming back. It's going to be pretty. I don't know if it'll be good, but it'll be pretty.
And all I know is that one of the sushi places, me and Ray go to, they said that they're going to have new toys, I guess.
Oh, no. More excuse to go.
More $15, 15 plates to get another little toy.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. I mean, I'm still... The Demon Slayer is like the one... So it's like... It's Chainsaw Man is like the one I like the most. And then in the middle is Demon Slayer, and the least is Jujutsu Kaisen, the popular shonen battle stuff we got going on. So it's like, I'm interested. It's pretty looking. Maybe they'll do something important.
Just don't, wherever you do, just don't think of the story. Just let the action flow through. Don't worry.
Is that the bad guy? God, that's so bad. I don't want to get into it. Don't want to get into it. I'll stop myself. Yeah. And that's it for my news this week. Anyone's got news, feel free to take over the podcast.
No, I don't have anything. You said what I wanted to say. The Zelda stuff.
The only thing I can think of top of my head, because I thought it was interesting, because we talked about the anime last week, was Horimiya, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're coming back. Apparently, I was reading today that I guess the quintessential quintuplets are getting an anime that also does the same thing, because they finished, I think, a movie that finished it. They're going to go back and do stories, I guess.
They're going to fill in the gaps, too?
Yeah,
it's like the new thing now?
I think it's fascinating, right?
Squeeze a little bit more of that orange juice.
Time out. Didn't they make a movie?
Yeah, the movie was the final part. Yeah.
It's like Attack on Titan final season part 2, part 9, 6 coming out 2.0.
But see the money here. See, there's a little bit more. And everyone's we could do a little bit more. Yeah,
I like money.
But don't you know the ending? That's not the important part. The money though.
That's another like my pandemic mangas. So like I saw like a lot of them at that time, and that's another one where I got into the manga. I don't know how I feel about it, but like I don't mind more anime, you know. Like, so I'm
don't
cool
mind if I do.
I just know they made a movie, and it has not been released in the U.S. right?
I think
to my knowledge, theaters maybe, but I don't think
not like home release or little streaming now.
They came out I think a couple months ago. I think because a lot of like it's like Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer came out technically in theaters last month.
Oh right, and we saw that poster and I was confused. I saw that poster because it had season 2 characters, but then season 3 characters. So I was like, what the hell is this movie? And apparently it's basically a re-edit of season 2 with the first episode of season 3.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what the? And that just shows you Funimable just trying to milk every drop they can of that goddamn property.
Squeeze. But
they did it with the Mugen Train, and then the first half of season 2 was the Mugen Train again.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Anime studios, despite their budgets and this and that, they're just doing the same tactics that the high and low studios are doing. Get a couple more scenes of the same scene.
But that's so annoying, though.
It is.
But you see, problem is people say, yeah, sure, okay.
The good old Dragon. In 5 minutes, this planet will blow up. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, this planet will blow up in 5 minutes.
I don't know if you...
35 episodes later, 1 minute has passed.
4 minutes, it's gonna blow.
I don't know if you ever watched, of course you watched it, but Dragon Ball Z, you can tell it was a good episode just on the animation.
True.
When they look all like, paper-ish, you're like, okay, this is not important. Highlighted and muscly, and you're like, okay, this is a episode.
It's gonna be.
We're saving the money for this episode. Excuse us for a minute. It sounds like Bleach too, because Bleach has like the same kind of thing.
They all do it, and like I was gonna say, Naruto does the same thing. They're like with the Naruto Sasuke fight at the end, like literally the whole animation style changes for the fight sequence.
That's funny.
Good stuff.
Any news? Anyone else? Okay, so now we'll move on to our week. So I guess I'll start off this time around. So for this week, I played Yokai Watch, Blasters. So those were the last 2 games I bought for the 3DS before the store closed.
Part 1 out again.
Yeah, so I just but I'm gonna tell you what happened. So if you bought the digital copy of those games, you will get a code for a yokai that was only digitally exclusive. Okay? So, Sunday, the day before the store is closing, I decide to get the game. Takes forever to download. Okay, whatever. Now time to play. It's only 12 a.m. I'm tired. So I did like maybe 80% of like what I needed to get to the story till the point where I can use a code. Next morning, wake up, finish it. Time to put in the code, before the store closes.
Right.
Put in the code, no longer accepted. Like, you son of a gun, Nintendo. I hate you so much. You guys can burn. You know what? I'm going to call customer service. I call Nintendo customer service. You know what? This is not right. Because I heard that it was officially going to be closed at 5 p.m.
Yeah, 5 p.m.
That is weird, but
like
I noticed that too on Monday morning around like say 9 in the morning, something like that. All of a sudden, the store because I was trying to look it up on the computer because I thought 5 o'clock too, right, our time. And then when I try to look up, and all of a sudden the store froze for like 5 minutes, and then I came back, and then the 3D games were gone.
Yeah, they had a maintenance, I think.
Yeah, they made some more, but I guess they decided, well, I guess that's it.
I think that's what I saw. Now I think about it. It was like between like midnight and like 5 in the morning for us.
Yeah, but then they pulled off the games. But I thought we had to 5.
No, I thought it came back. Yeah,
did.
that's what I heard, but because at that point I was already gone.
No, they did. So I ended up getting one more game because I was going to test it. I'm like, can you still get games? And you were able to, but you weren't able to get the code anymore. They just shut those down before. And I was so angry. I was like, I called Nintendo. I did my complaint. They said they're going to get back to me.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I want my code.
Give me my code, Mario.
As concerned, look at this guy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sure, bro. Okay.
But there's a YouTuber I've been following. He's been covering the 3DS closing, and he posted that they extended the codes for 1 week. So I got lucky in my Nintendo. I love you so much.
Wow,
you guys are the best. You guys
are cold over here.
So I did end up getting my digitally exclusive code, and I feel happy about that. And so
wait till I tell them that the remaster's coming next like couple months, and it's gonna have that monster built in already.
Yeah, probably half the price too.
Right, that's what I was thinking about. But they're actually really fun games. The blasters. So basically, when you play yokai, the just regular games, there's something called terror time where like if you're stuck at night, like the big bad yokai come out, and if they chase you, and if you don't get out of there, you'll lose basically. So these games are based on that. So terror time happens, and you have your little squad of little yokai, and you have to go defeat the yokai. So it's like a good. I don't know. I'm just having fun with them because it's like the RPGs a lot. They're fun for collecting and just they're fun games. I actually think I like them more than the regular Yokai Watch games. Because I think the regular Yokai Watch games they talk too much, and they're not bad, but they just talk.
Less talking, more fighting.
I'm like let's hurry up. So this is not that much talking, and you can actually skip the scenes. So
there you go.
So if you're like kind of bored, you're like skip.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I've been doing for my week. Just Yokai Watch, Blasters, the red and white dog squad. I don't remember the name of the red one.
Of course, there's 2 of them. Gotta catch them all.
Okay, so I guess it'll be Miles' turn.
Miles, all right, Miles.
All right. Well, a side note, real quick, I did find a way to fix my save for the Awakening on my enhanced console with my choice. So I might get back to this week finally after issues trying to get my save to places. So while I was waiting for that, this time I actually decided to play a PS5 game. Was it Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart?
Hot off the presses.
Yeah,
from a year ago plus.
The power of the PS5 or something like that.
Better than me, sadly.
So basically it's a Ratchet & Clank game. That's if you know a Ratchet & Clank game, you know a Ratchet & Clank game pretty much. You collect things.
The power of the PS5.
Well, that's the thing. So like, most of the gameplay is pretty much the same. Most stuff, you shoot things, you get better weapons, upgraded weapons. The neat thing, since this game has PS5 power in it, since it's called Rift Apart, so you deal with semi-multi-dimensional, because it's like kind of like the Doctor Strange movie. It's like, it's the multi-dimensional madness, but it's only one dimension.
1 or 2 worlds. Madness, I say. Madness.
And it's like, wow, I think I need to redefine what multiverse means. I feel like
1 or 2 worlds.
Like
that's a lot.
But regardless of that, the thing is, this game is fast. The speed, the way, because it uses the power processor and whatnot, right? The game loaded quick, like maybe 5 seconds. I boot it up. It's on, ready to go.
There you go.
And I go back to my save. 5 seconds later, I'm in the game. It's amazing how quick the speed probably went down, so it has your SSD, right? The game, because since you're doing multi-dimensional rifts and something like that, they're like a certain button you press to like really like jump forward through like a void or not to skip forward like to levels. So like from like going from point A to point B, you press like a certain button and you like literally jump in there and the whole level loads. So it's like it's kind of crazy because like the texture, the enemies, everything goes up like super fast. You know, it's like, oh, so this is what a PS5 does. Oh, okay. You know,
it's a nice tech demo.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of, it's interesting because they do acknowledge that it is like it's been 10 plus years since Ratchet Clank, the remake, the movie remake of the game.
It is something like that. It's something weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it is a very jarring. I never played it because
it's a game based on the movie.
Oh, you're talking about the remake? It's based off the movie version
of the game.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I think that's so. It's been a while.
Because it has scenes from the movie, right?
Yeah, well, it has. It acknowledges that time has passed.
Oh,
it does acknowledge like, oh, here we're doing this yet again, folks. So and a lot of weapons from the past, several Ratchet claims come back. There's some new weapons, but also classic favorites like the buzzsaw one. I try not to get spoiled on the story because the story's kind of neat. You're doing multiverse, like another version of the Lombax. I'm the counterpart of your counterpart. Who's the counterpart? I go,
well,
kind of weird. Like, and in fact, when the worlds blow up, if you meet like the alternate version,
that's just Time Cop. That's different.
Yeah, I guess it's only that version. I guess, right? Well, no, I'm enjoying it. I think I'm like a third of the way through because I got to the second part. I guess the second core. I guess whatever as I put it. Yeah, so I'm having a fun time with that. And then hopefully I get back to Awakening this week. I hope.
You better.
I know everyone.
Is that the 3DS?
Yeah. Because Ray and Frank's like, why aren't you gonna come back to the Awakening? That's
the best one.
Don't you want to come back to Awakening, guys? Don't you want to? So stay tuned.
My game is still nicely put away, wrapped, waiting for the days worth $10,000.
Wait, like a treasure chest you can bury like underneath the ground, like just like put all the games in there, like. Soon. No, don't open this yet.
In case of emergency.
Yeah.
Gotta pay the house bill this week.
And your week, Frank?
Knarf.
Knarf.
Well, I watched, the homework and still playing Fire Emblem. Damn, those DLC are like making me mad. It's just
still on the maddening, are we?
Yeah, it's just I thought I had it, and then because there's this one DLC with. It happens to be the Awakening episode.
Ooh.
And Roy, no, that's not it.
Robin.
Robin and Chrome are like tucked away behind a barrier, and you have to break these crystals, and then you can go after them.
Right.
The first time, and you got to break them at the same time.
Oh.
While monsters keep spawning
in. Oh.
So you gotta kind of divide it into 3 teams. Break them. Once you break them, then Chrome goes, oh, they're they're separate, and then they just spam a whole bunch of like status ailments, water puddles. So and then monsters come out from all the sides, and then they come after you.
Uh-huh. And that's when the fun begins.
So that's when I kind of died the first time around. This time I'm like, oh, I'm stronger. I kind of like carefully go around.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even broken the barriers yet, and then Crumb decides, oh, they're out of position. Let's bring out the puddles and all the extra bad guys. So I was like, damn, I did worse than the first time. I leveled up a bunch and I did worse.
Oh.
So I don't know. I don't know. I just skipped.
I'll come back later.
But you're having fun though, right, Frank? You're having fun?
Yeah, I just the thing is, I kind of want to finish it because I don't want to keep talking about Fire Emblem every week.
Welcome to Fire Emblem.
But other than that, I'm liking it.
How many hours are you in?
Whoa, I was like 80 hours in like 2 weeks ago. So
so those games are like long.
Well, he's playing the hardest mode.
Yeah,
and it's very maddening is hard. Even I played it, but it's like you really have to come with your A game and know like every nook and cranny there is in Fire Emblem to. If you just make one mistake, they'll make you pay for it hard.
Yeah.
So have you played easy mode or what's it called?
I guess the normal difficulty. If you put normal, because it's there's like the difficulty, which is like normal, hard, and maddening, and then there's the classic / casual mode. And the classic mode means people die. When they die, they're dead. And casual means like, oh, ouch, I gotta leave the battlefield. I'll see you later. So they're not dead. So
That's
it depends.
Me.
Yeah, it depends if you want to keep those units or not, right?
Yeah, that's me.
For the story beats.
That's my mode.
And that's why Awakening for the longest time was the first choice.
I don't mind playing it on like the hardest mode But classic, that will be way too much. I mean, I think it's possible, but I don't have that kind of time. Like,
I like I always play it in classic, or at least definitely when I do the normal mode. I always
for
do
maddening.
Classic. For maddening, maddening probably not. I think I did it with hard, but not with maddening because I was like, no, I don't got time for that.
Because right now the chapter I was telling you about, one character that I'm like, this just ruins everything. And like that girl was part of my whole plan, and she's dead. So. Yeah, and then it's not like I could just go back one turn because I'm like, no, because if I do this, it was like a chess.
Right,
like,
you're already screwed like 10 turns ago.
I mean, I messed. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that was like.
I want to play it now.
There
you go.
It's fun. It's fun.
Good. Yeah, it's fun.
Good.
When you're tearing your hair out, and you're stressing out. See, that's when it's fun.
So you're not having a good time.
And we concluded I love Nintendo, so here you go. Nintendo.
So here's some more money, Miyamoto. Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, just you got stress balls that way. Every time you go,
Oh, well, I'll carry you through, Ivan. I know all the moves.
Uh-huh.
I am Mr. Fire Emblem.
Well, besides sorry to cut you. Besides the Fire Emblem and the 2 animes that we had to watch, which we'll talk later, I started watching Blue Lock.
Oh, the popular Blue Lock.
I'm hating it.
Oh wow, okay.
There it is.
I mean,
It's so popular though. How can you say no?
And I had hope for it because I thought Nabi had told me to watch it.
Oh, thank you. Oof, that feels nice.
And my cousin told me to watch it too. He's like, yo, you gotta watch it. And I'm like, all right. And I'm watching him like, it looks nice, and the idea is all right. I just don't like how intense they are about it. Like,
it's very anime.
That's all the little things I've seen on the social medias. That's all I see. It's like anime hype, over the top, death scenario, something.
But it's like, I don't know if it's because I've played soccer and I'm like, we're not like this. Like, like even pros, they're not like this.
I do think you're gonna like hopefully I'm saying it right. Aoashi.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm just want to finish the crust first. But it's just it's a little too intense for me because that's not how I feel it is, and I feel like it stands for everything I'm against. I think I had like
scoring, right? Just like you need to score, you need to be the best.
And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? This is wrong. Don't listen, kids.
It's bad advice.
But after a few episodes, it kind of seems like that might be a lie. And they just telling them that to, I guess, I don't know. It might be part of the test, but it kind of feels like, teamwork is, the real goal here.
It's the dream work. Everyone.
So I'm gonna keep watching it, see how it ends. But I just hate the intensity, which I think is a little too fake for me, and I don't like the it's all about the forward. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, that's the position I care about the least.
I really think you're gonna like Aoashi. I think you're gonna like it a lot. Now, as I'm hearing you talk about it, I've always said that one has like a twist where it starts off almost the way you're explaining, like, yeah, I'm gonna be the best, and then it has a twist, and it just made it very enjoyable.
We'll say no more. I'm gonna watch it, and then just this anime is like, I'm gonna finish because I do need to work out, and I watch it as I'm on the treadmill.
There you go. Stretched out with them a little bit, get a little workout.
Yeah.
I remember I started watching it too, and it's like, like very intense. Like the guy's like, like.
I remember the other thing that doesn't make sense for me, and it's so stupid. So it's a collection of all these, talented. I'm guessing they're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
High school players that are like stars, and they're all ranked and whatever. And it's fine. They're doing this tournament last man standing is going to be the forward for Japan. But they tell them, if you lose, you can never play for Japan. I'm like, that's a stupid rule. Like why would you even put that there? Like, I feel like it's kind of like the Dragon Ball Super. Like, there's 10 minutes just to make more drama.
My reference is gonna be the Naruto reference, the Chunin exam.
Oh, what was that? I forgot.
It's like a spoiler for an old ass anime. In the Chunin exam, when they do the test part, it's like you could take this test thing, but if you fail here, you can never be a Chunin ever.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's gotta be it, because to do that in real life, just throwing away all that talent, like Japan can afford that.
Yeah, right. Well, no one would do that, right? I don't like money at all. No, thank you, please.
And it's funny. It's like, yeah, we're good at everything. We just don't have a forward. It's like, I mean, I saw the World Cup. You have some pretty good forwards. It's
Right,
just, you know.
Well, there was a joke though, like that was Blue Lock. I don't know if you did see that when they did score that crazy goal.
Oh
And,
yeah, during the
and there was like
Oh,
a
really?
thing like, oh, Blue Lock unlocked, like they did it. So that was pretty funny, and that was a crazy goal, one of the best goals I think I've ever seen.
I heard about it. I hadn't actually never seen it though.
And the other thing was like, yeah,
Good.
we're making a lot of
good.
money. And then it's like, yeah, but we got to win. But we're making a lot of money. And it's like, all we need is a forward. And I was like, I'm thinking, because I've thought about this. I've wanted to go in Japan and coach. I'm like, what Japan needs, not forward, and it's not a particular player.
Give me like a
It's
Ted
more
Lasso for
attention. It
Japan.
needs more attention. Like Japan doesn't care about soccer, in my opinion. Not enough. Not like, you know,
No, yeah, for sure.
like in Brazil or Mexico. Or
Right, yeah.
maybe here, but
It's slowly getting there, but yeah, not the same level at
like,
all.
like if China liked soccer, oh my god,
Why? Yeah,
it's
right.
over. But they don't, and I think Japan has the same problem.
Pretty
Anyways, I talked too much about something I don't like.
Oh yeah, I don't want to watch this anime again. Other than that.
I'll finish it.
Good,
You know how it
good.
goes.
Oh, Frank, something slightly negative for once. Oh,
Oh, just turn out.
Yeah.
Don't think
Yeah.
about it.
Ray's like let the hate flow through you as it has flow
this is
through
what happens
me.
when we do back-to-back episodes.
Nah,
Okay, I guess it's Ray's turn.
It's my turn.
no,
All right.
it's Yar,
Yeah, yar.
Yar.
Yar,
Yar. Let
and
me
over
tell
here
you a
is
story.
Selim. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you
Backwards,
need is a pirate hat, right? And then you're set.
There you go. I can make this happen. I know what I'm cosplaying this anime expo. Let's see. What did I do? So I did two things here, and both with Miles. I'll start with the positive one. I know for sure Ivan has seen this because I saw it last time with him. So Miles hasn't seen Dragon Ball Superhero.
Superhero.
Great name as always.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. We watched it because Miles hasn't seen it and we were bored, so we put it on.
And it's a buck.
And I had a couple. When you have an Amazon crate, you got to burn anyway. So we watched that, and yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's better than Dragon Ball Super ever was. So there's that.
Yeah, there was a low bar, and it passed that bar at least.
Let me ask Frank before I spoil the whole movie accidentally. Have you seen and/or care about this movie, Frank?
Dragon Ball Super.
Superhero,
Oh yeah, I saw it.
this big CG one, if you will.
I like it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I could just I guess
spoil away.
potential spoilers.
Yeah, for
Did you
for
watch
those
it in English or Japanese?
English.
Oh yeah, I thought it was.
And now we know where Ivan stands in the anime community.
It was.
You like dubs? Excuse me, my monocle's loosened. Let me put it back in.
I thought it was funny. I thought the whole Oreo thing was cracking me. I don't know. I'm easy to please.
But yeah, no, it still holds up. I thought it was pretty fun, entertaining. I think the fact that they focus on Piccolo as the main hero protagonist makes sense, and because he has like a little hand in every aspect of the Dragon Ball Z world, super world, I guess these days. That's gonna be a hard one to break. So yeah, I think it made sense to make him the focus. The transformations were kind of because it's like, well, it's Dragon Ball, we gotta have a new one, right, fellas?
Wait, what does "mrrr" mean?
Well, that
like,
it's
mid.
not
mid.
I
great,
still
not
don't get it.
terrible.
Well, the problem is that it happens so fast, and I think I feel at this point it's like we don't know what to give his name. Just there you go, here it is.
I
Here.
love how it's like we got to keep making Gohan the chosen one, despite he hasn't been the chosen one for a very long time. But it's like, what if he still was the chosen one? So we have to give him a new one.
I mean, if they keep going that direction, it's fine. But I don't have no faith that they'll do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think, because it's the Goku show. Yeah, I don't think they're going to, but I just think it's funny. It's like, they're like, oh, right, wasn't Gohan supposed to be the new Goku?
What I feel like is happening with Dragon Ball is that they're trying to balance out everything. And because with Gohan, whatever that transformation is, Piccolo, Orange Piccolo.
Sure, why not, I guess.
And they're kind of like trying to make you forget that Scouters exist.
Very much.
And they'll be like, well, I think they're trying to make it like, okay, now we're all even. Like,
Right.
Piccolo can't go Super Saiyan Blue, but he has Orange, and they'll be like,
Closer.
I kind of get a feeling like it's gonna be kind of like One Piece, where they're it's kind of like, because any given moment anybody can beat anybody,
Mhm.
and characters can come back and they won't be weak just because like they were on the first few episodes.
Right.
That's kind of I feel where they're going, because I think I saw that the next arc is gonna be about Goten and Trunks.
Huh.
Well, in the manga.
Oh.
And so I feel like it's their turn to get their power up and be on par with everybody
Right,
else.
everyone else actually, because when we last time we saw everyone in the end of the world or universe scenario from Super, it was like pretty much the Goku Vegeta show, right? And everyone's just there and like just filling in the background. It's like, oh, I guess we should do it. And apparently the androids are also the next strongest tier after them, which I'm like, I guess
bothers me a lot.
I'm more pissed. Shinhan is the first one who loses. And Master Roshi and Krillin is there? What the fuck is happening in the Dragon Ball world?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. That makes no sense. He's literally the strongest human on the whole goddamn planet, and he's the first one to loses.
You go.
And then I don't know. I don't like Super. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, it's not good.
No one here does. Don't look at them. No one does in this path.
There's a lot of when you read online comments and people are like, "No, Super has a lot of emotion and something."
What emotion?
It's like, and then that
Hatred?
it's just a mess. Like, I think like for example the superhero movie, I love like the care for like the setup of like the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But when like the fighting actually happens, that's where I kind of lose it because like the power-ups just power scaling just doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's been a problem for a long time, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like when Trunks became Super
Oh,
Saiyan Blue.
Yeah, that was like why?
How?
And
How?
leave the poor guy alone already. Like why is he always suffering? You know, like
There was so much potential in that concept and idea, and it just was terrible. Goku Black. Oh, it's evil Goku. Ooh.
it was just more granny voice acting. So it's like regular Goku, Gohan, and
Oh
Goku
yeah,
Black.
and then the Japanese. Yeah.
Because I actually thought he was gonna have a different voice, but nope, it was the same voice. I was like, oh,
He had a British one and the American for a little bit.
Yeah,
Or was that maybe that was just the game?
That was just in fighting.
Right, because he didn't exist yet in the English dub, so it's like I don't know, what does he sound like? I don't know. Let's give him a British voice. All right,
that's funny. But yeah, Super.
Super, it's something. But yeah, superheroes much better. I'll say that. And I don't know. I'm a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan, so I'll watch every goddamn movie and TV show, but I'll also beat the shit out of every time it deserves it. So there's that.
Yeah.
But that was the better movie. I don't, Miles, anything since it was your first time watching it?
I do like the fact that animation wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know, it was...
Oh, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, it's kind of... Again, I don't know if I get used to Trigun's kind of animation, kind of the same thing. The frame... I'm used to that kind of like frame skipping.
It's a little off, but not terribly off.
Yeah, but other than that, everyone pretty much looked the same, act the same. It wasn't it wasn't bad like say like like the Frieza movie, right? When we saw that moment when Frieza and Goku were fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just like the moment like, oh, the frame rate stopped. Right?
They've come a long way since then. Yeah, huh?
But other than that, I did enjoy the fact that they kind of push Goku and Vegeta out of the way. Like, this is not much. You could go somewhere
for
else.
once.
I love that.
Right, that's what they need to do more often.
And I said the fact that it's basically a Piccolo show, and like how he's dealing with all the things that he's always been dealing with, right? I feel that was a unique thing to go out, and it was more like Nick Ray put it, it's more Dragon Ball ish than Dragon Ball Z, but it's like a unique. They found a way to.
It's a good balance
Between both of them, so that way it's still funny, but at the same time, when fights, they're serious. It's serious,
right?
I guess I didn't like the cell though. I ultimately
the
I
cell
didn't
was
like it.
that was a washed up old idea, but whatever.
Yeah, that was it was like basically Bio Broly.
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem is that I think halfway through when they said that Gamma number 1, number 2 was actually they're good guys, right? It's like, well, we gotta find a back. There has to be a back.
Right, there's gotta be someone to fight. And it makes sense, but it's just kind of like, yikes, really?
Well, I have a question. Sorry,
No.
I have a question. That cell was kind of like out of nowhere. What would you make the bad guy?
Just a new android robot thing to fight.
Just think about all the Dragon Ball Z
Like,
movies. They
yeah,
had like
that's the
they
thing.
had like these random villains, and they were
They kept making more androids.
yeah. They made I think my favorite one was the fusion movie one.
Oh, the one, the Afterlife.
The Afterlife one. See, that's some random villain, and he was just all you have to establish that they're strong. They just beat you up the first time, and then you have to regroup, and then you beat them. That's all you have to do. But it was like just kind of goes mindless.
Gotta beat the Godzilla monster.
Yeah.
Well, I
Which will save that for also the main
I
topic.
think the moments like when they say like the moment say, oh look, and he's a grandson of Dr. Gero. Like, oh, here Here we go. Sure enough, and here's the android. No, he makes androids. No kidding. And look, he's making a cell. No kidding. It's like if like we just like went to the well again and again. It's straight. No, no filter. Just we're just gonna just go from here, and we're gonna do this again.
I remember now what what was thinking when I was watching it. I had the same feeling. I was like, they made Cell the bad guy just because they wanted to redo some of the famous scenes.
Pretty much.
I'm like, man.
Yeah, and then I went blank.
Yeah.
I went blank.
Oh, Nabi.
I totally lost.
Shooting blanks.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. No, I'm done. I'm done for the count.
It's down for the count.
That frees him out.
Phoenix down.
Way to go, Yar.
So yeah, I think that's it. And then the last thing, I will try to keep this short. I will promise nothing. I will try.
No, notice Ray's gonna get in a soapbox right now. Like, here we go.
This is the time where Miles always sets me up and I go hyperbole. This is the time he's actually correct. I will first ask, has anyone seen the movie Belle?
Belle?
I have.
You have, okay. Belle, this is the anime movie made by Hosoda, the very famous anime actor. I mean, I'm sure he probably did something. Anyway, he's an anime director who did like Summer Wars, Girl Who Leapt Through Time, The Boy and the Beast. All these very popular and very good movies. I'm a big fan of his work. For whatever reason, Belle came out in theaters. I missed it. I kind of came and oh shit, I love his movies. I missed it, blah, blah, blah. And his last movie was Mirai. And I was like, Mirai, everyone's kind of everyone's like down like Mirai. Mirai wasn't good. Mirai was a mess. And I'm like, and I agree, it wasn't as good as his other movies, but it had enough heart and enough messaging that it carried through and got what he needed to do in that movie.
So what was have we seen Belle?
Yeah, that was my first question. Yeah, I'm setting up for what I'm about to talk so people understand where I'm coming from. Not just
is this the
expectations.
The singing one with it's like a futuristic Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Yeah, VTuber.
Okay. Question mark. Big fucking question mark on the Beauty and the Beast angle. All right, so I'll tell everyone right now, spoiler alert, because I'm just gonna
it's gonna rant everyone.
Pretty much. So well, let me first. I should be nice. Frank hasn't seen. Are you interested and do you care about if I spoil this movie?
I watched it.
Oh, so you've seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did I miss that? Did he say that?
No, he didn't say that.
No, but based on how much I described it.
Remember,
I think he didn't know the name of the film until you told.
So yeah. But maybe let me ask you, how do you? Okay, so I saw this with Miles. So what do you guys think about this movie? Obviously I'm going to talk about negative things about it.
Okay, so I remember it was weird.
Blanks.
I just remember it was weird. I think I just kind of liked the ending because wasn't it like about depression?
Kind of? Question mark? It was, but it didn't do a very good job of explaining that or showing that
or transition to it. You know,
I just think I like the very end of like there was some scene,
the drama bit that was actually not the CG 3D world.
No, it was like
the real world.
Mm-hmm.
That scene,
but I am not gonna remember what it was, so I don't know. But I just think the movie happened. I'm like, oh, and then that happened. I'm like, okay, that was my roller coaster
thoughts about it. It's okay. So slightly positive, but forgettable, which is probably not really positive. And Frank, like, what'd you like about it, Frank? Let me ask you that.
The first song. I kept playing that on replay because me and my nephews kept dancing to it.
Well, there you go. That was all right. That I have no problems with.
But I didn't like that it was kind of in reverse. I like it when, movies that, the songs are a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like it with the last songs are my favorite ones. And this one was kind of in reverse.
Oh, I see. That's true.
What I liked about it, I thought it was interesting take on Beauty and the Beast. I kind of didn't click until like, wait a minute. It was weird because I felt like they went away from it. Like they're like, we're gonna do this, and then never mind.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because I mean, a big part of Beauty and the Beast is like dancing and the kiss and all that.
Stockholm syndrome.
But you're gonna have to explain that to me.
That's when you make someone fall in love with you when you kidnap them. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. When you're forcing someone because they have no choice.
Hey, if it's there, you gotta do it again.
There you go. True love.
No. It's just I don't, because I watched it almost the first day it came out on HBO Max. So it's been a while.
Right. It did come out some time ago. That's true.
But yeah, I did think that whole thing with the kids was kind of out of left field. It wasn't bad. It was just like I feel like it didn't connect with it. I feel like there was two movies. But for what I remember, it was about being yourself and liking who you are.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was something like that.
so I feel like the thing with the kids was like kind of like a side quest that they decided to put in there.
That's funny.
True.
But I mean, I liked it. I liked it because the kids liked it. So
The kid's like, kid approved.
I mean,
Kid approved.
in my house,
I need a refresher. Didn't the ending she and the guy kind of like acknowledge each other?
Well, she saved them at the end.
Not the little boy, the love interest.
Did they wait? What
was there a love interest?
There is question mark, big fucking question mark.
A boy, right? Like
The high school guy.
Yeah.
What about him now?
Didn't they kind of like
Hook up?
not hook up, but didn't they
Acknowledge feelings or something like that?
something? In a
Oh, I
way?
remember that.
I don't think so.
Not really.
I did it kind of like they slowly hinted it, but there's nothing like that. The last bit of the movie was kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah, the whole movie is like the epilogue question mark is just kind of like, oh, just everyone shaking their heads going, what just happened?
I feel like they did.
To me, I felt like I was watching like Togashi directing this film because like this, it kept doing so many different parts that when I felt we cut back from like the CG part and the 2D animation part, like there were two separate movies. That's what I felt like. It felt like to me, like halfway through the film, it's like, okay, so this movie exists on top of this movie, but they don't really connect to each other. It's very jarring to watch.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint is just it's an incoherent mess. So here's the problem. Hosoda has already done 2 movies that have a similar concept of about the VR virtual world and what it means and blah 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 with Digimon and Summer Wars. I fucking love Summer Wars, and Digimon brings pretty good movies, but I'm not the biggest Digimon fan. Yeah. So it's already, this is his 3rd time going back to this well. So it's like, okay, what is left for him to do in this concept? And the answer is fucking nothing, because he does the same shit he did, and even worse than those last 2 movies. And it's incoherent. So the beginning of the movie is the setup of the idea of, here's this girl, Belle, or what's the Japanese name? Suzu?
Yeah.
Suzu something like that. Anyway, and it's like, she's depressed because she lost her mother in the tragedy. Sounds like a decent setup for a movie, right? So I thought, okay, so we're gonna somehow overcome this through singing, because the other problem is, she has this correlation with her mom about the singing, which I really wish they showed way more of that in the movie. It's just a fucking montage scene. This whole movie crux is the relationship between her mother, and music, and they show none of that. Already, you fucked up if you ask me. So they did nothing with that. And then she has to become this Belle character in the VR world, whatever you want to call it, in order to sing again, which is like, okay, sure, I guess. 2, how does this VR work according to this movie? They wear these AirPod buds and then they get digitized. So you think like it's almost like wearing a VR headset or something, but then in the later segment, she's running down the lake and then she activates the VR. Is she still like running down the river, not eating it hard? Or like, how does that work? It makes no sense how they don't explain it at all. So, and then the whole world is nothing but like freeways. It's nothing but freeways. And then the Super Tokyo Dome for the concert. It makes no sense. They spend so much time on it, and so like it's just like scenes stapled together, and then like, oh right, Beauty and the Beast, I guess, and like obviously very much the Disney adaptation Beauty and the Beast, but they literally do the ball scene again, which I'm just like, what are we doing? Why are we doing the same thing?
Yeah, give him a coat, and they're like, it's like why didn't? Wow, this is different. I mean, I hope this is
a new twist, a spin on it, but no, it's just here's literally the ballroom scene again. And the whole Beast thing just comes out of nowhere. He literally interrupts a concert, and she's like, "Oh, I want to meet this Beast man." Yeah, but it's like, why? Does she's bestiality? Like, it makes no sense at all.
They try to coordinate Beauty and Beast moments in this movie, but there's no connection to what's going on with the rest of the movie.
What's happening currently, and it's just so incoherent. It's such a mess, and I struggled so hard, and like I feel like I always give things a hard time, but man, oh man, this thing deserves, it's just a nightmare. This man has put out some of my favorite movies, period, little anime movies, And this thing is such an incoherent mess. I feel like there's no way he worked on this thing. He must have gave it to his secretary and said like, yeah, that's good enough for me. Put it out. Produce it. That's good enough for me. Because it's so hard to believe this is the same guy. It has like no direction, no focus. It's all over the place. The whole like real life thing. For instance, literally like the first scene we introduced the other girl, popular girl. She's playing a saxophone and dancing at the same time. You know how impossible that is? To blow into a woodwind instrument and like do these crazy dance moves, you don't have the lung capacity to do that. I'm sorry, it's not happening. So just dumb things like that. It's so incoherent and dumb. There's so many random ideas they forgot about, and they slap at the end of the movie. The whole thing about her saving the child abuse is a terrible thing, and like, well, yeah, of course it is, but like, what do you? It's just all over the fucking place, and it was a very tough watch. And all I know is if I saw this in theaters. I've never walked out a movie. That would have been the first time I walked out a movie. Wow. It was that fucking bad for me. It was. Yeah, and granted, like I said, my expectations were high as fuck because I really like his movies. And to watch this, I struggled. Like every 15 minutes, I had to pause, walk away, and come back.
Ray literally had to pause, put his head down, shake his head, grab another beer, and come back to this movie because it was especially moments when the narrative wise doesn't make any sense. You know, like dad. And the dad. Especially with her father, and it's just the fact that he's trying to connect to his daughter, and she's like, yeah, but he doesn't try very well.
And then she's like, oh, I'm so distant with my family, though. It's because you're making it distant, you asshole. It's like, oh, there's so many things. It's just like, what is the point of this? And they kept doing and then like there was the other virtual idol girl who's just there in a couple scenes. Like, what's the point of her? They have the evil Gaston Mega Man Battle Network villain guy trying to be the bad guy, and then his gun shows the reveal of their avatar. Like, how the fuck does that make sense? Let alone work.
Yeah, I think we made fun of it because it was a trigger reject, right? A trigger slash Mega Man X reject.
Oh, it was
the only thing
so bad.
I don't remember this movie at all. I guess that's
that's the thing.
I wish I could be that way. I sadly cannot.
I guess all I remember from this movie is like she was sad, and then all this happens.
Yeah, and then she got better.
And then she got better.
And it's like, how and why?
That's kind of what I remember.
Oh, mom. Oh, it's all. I guess I got over your death. And like, it's so incoherent.
It's kind of. So that was my interpretation of it. So I think when I was watching the movie, I'm like, she's better. Okay.
It's okay.
Thumbs up. That's kind of my take on Belle.
It was so bad. I didn't like any of it.
The only good scene in that movie was like a little scene between like two side characters.
Oh yeah.
The love bit. And that was like the whole, like that's the scene he showed up to the day on set or on the studio. Oh yeah, I know how to do this. All right, I'm going back to, I'll see you guys. I'm going to go to the golf course. See you guys later.
Yeah, with that,
Gashi's gonna hang out. We gotta go.
That was like, like that's a scene. Like, you know, you want to like cut that scene out, and you save that scene, like, and that's the movie.
That's the best part of the movie, right there.
And that was a good scene, though.
And like had no animation on top of it too.
Yeah, and
it's just timing.
And it's funny because the fact that there's no CG, there's none of that, and this thing probably was better than like 90% of the movie. It's just like, oh, okay, there we go.
It's so bad, and like nothing made sense. And like I said, the whole Beauty and the Beast aspect, I am so confused on why even bother try to incorporate that into this movie.
That was weird.
It makes no sense. And then the comical like savior complex, and then the crazy dad. Oh, it makes no sense. I beat my children every single day. Oh, but this girl. Oh, I don't hit women now. I draw the line at hitting women. Well, my own children, sure, no problem.
It was a very, I think as me and Ray put, it was a very Japanese kind of way like people deal with anger, right? Being children's fine, whatever. Oh, women. Oh no,
I would never hit a woman.
And like it was just like
I draw the line.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Terrible. He would beat up
his kids. Yeah. That's the crux of the third act? Question mark.
Yeah.
And all the adults had said, "Go get him. Go save him." It's like, why would you leave a teenager to save him? You should get on the train and get in and help her. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're the worst adults in history right here.
Right next to the all the Harry Potter teachers and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like right close, right? Because like,
oh my goodness,
you guys could prevent all this from happening. No.
And all those side characters, support characters, showed up in the crucial climax of the movie, and they're like, "Why are you here?" Well, because we're in the movie. But it's like, you're not doing anything in the scene. It's so bad. It's a mess. Like I said, I had high expectations, and man, oh man, that thing. If I ever had a zero on my scale, it would be a 0. It was that bad for me.
And you know it's bad when Dragon Ball Superhero was better than that movie.
Not even close. Not even close. That's my rant this week.
Tune in next week for another one of
stay
rants.
tuned.
Well, the next movie is I'm gonna butcher the name. Sudame.
Oh, the Shinkai one.
Is that something with an S?
Suzume?
Suzume? Oh, that sounds right.
Yeah,
Suzume.
it's gonna come out like in a few weeks.
It's
So.
Shinkai will be fine because he's just the same movie since
Money,
from Voice of a Distant Star.
But they're saying that this is the best one.
Oh,
So-
yeah, all right.
Better than your name. Yeah, sure.
Love interests that can never hook up for various reasons. Never heard
So-
this before.
So I wonder if it's gonna be the same reaction. Or...
It can't. I refuse. Shinkai can't be that lazy already.
Looks pretty.
That's true. That's definitely. I'm sure it'll look pretty.
So today for our main topic, we watched 2 animes, which I'm gonna butcher the name, so Miles can say the first one.
Oh, saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement.
And then the second anime, if you can say it again, Miles, because I'm gonna butcher that name too.
Made for a good intro last episode though.
Tomo-chan is a girl.
Okay.
You would have butchered that?
I didn't remember it was not a girl, a girl.
Yeah.
So
There's a Tomo and there's a girl and everything else in between is a mystery.
I just been calling it Tomo-chan. So
There you go. Nice save.
So I guess Miles, you can do the.
So that one first, the 80,000.
Mhm.
Okay, so synopsis is isekai. Shock. There's always a seasonal isekai, right?
What is isekai?
Only one?
Yeah, only one.
Another world.
Yeah. So basically, Frank, isekai person is someone you died somehow and you end up somewhere else.
Not necessarily. Well, you know Inuyasha?
Yes, I know
That's-
Inuyasha.
Basically, Kagome goes to another world. Isekai.
Okay. Ni no Kuni.
Yes, that would also work.
Yeah. So basically, our protagonist this time is Mitsuha. She's I guess she died by pushing off a cliff. I guess
That was okay. I gotta holding my tongue. Go for it. Sorry, Miles. Sorry. I have questions, and I will ask the whole panel these questions.
But man, boy, to start off that this poor girl, she lost like her whole family, like in a car accident. Like that's a pretty good comp. I mean, like I don't know, that was a little hard to swallow, but I kind of just let it as the episode keep going. I kind of just let that go. So she falls off of a cliff, and she last minute, of course, she gets isekai to another world. And I guess she gains a new ability to allow her to switch between worlds, basically, between the isekai world and the real world somehow, which is a new one. And she could take objects and things over there. And so her goal is, because she's able to do this back and forth and survive, she's saving 80,000 gold. So that way, no matter what happens, she gets stuck somehow one day without able to coming back to the other world or whatnot, that she'll be set for life. That's like the gist of it. And so she goes on, she basically she runs like a goods store at I guess I want to say a medieval town, I guess, something like that. And she sells them modern day items for their convenience.
And jacks up the prices.
Hey, man. True entrepreneur, capitalist.
So, I guess anyone open
your thoughts? I guess I can go next for thoughts. I guess the best way I can describe it, like my initial impression, is like almost like Dr. Stone if you're selling goods. Like,
yeah,
this is what I'm gonna. They're kind of explaining you like, oh, because I don't think this is a spoiler, but she has her brother's memory is in her head, and he tells her like, oh, if you do this, you can do this, and then and I'm gonna do this. So she has ideas of what to do, and it kind of reminded me of Dr. Stone. That's kind of the vibe I got off of it.
Kind of see a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So it's just like she's telling you how to sell, how to be like, and I've been, yeah, I mean, I can have a store too, and I can sell. And another of the vibe I got a strong Inuyasha vibe, just switching between the real world and the fantasy world. And so I did get that Inuyasha vibe, but it's totally different, but just the ability to go back and forth.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like, for I enjoyed most of the stories so far. Obviously, who knows if we another season or whatnot of this. I kind of highly doubt it, because I don't think it did as well as people. I guess I never heard other people's thoughts on it, to be honest. But to me, for one, the animation itself, we all could agree it's kind of a little mid tier, kind of, or
Rough.
Yeah, rough is because you feel moments like, like, oh, okay, we're just gonna just. You literally see her move like straight forward. Like, okay, so the budget's not here. Huh? Okay, got it.
Tight budget for sure.
Yeah. But I think the fact that I guess she's trying to survive, and I guess she learns how to do survival training. Apparently, I thought that was an interesting angle, and she hired a PMC, I guess, to help her out. I think that's
It's been far too long.
And I guess the thing was like I, as much as I'm like trying to enjoy it, like because it's not bad, right? It's not anything like oh, like it's no Belle, right? There's no it's not. It's mostly general watchable show, right? But I don't think people remember it very well because not really much happens that makes it unique, right? Like other than her selling like Japanese modern goods to these fantasy folk, and like oh yeah, so you can make fire, see, like oh, and a DVD or yeah, it's I don't know, as memorial from the season, I guess.
Oh,
Frank, you talk now.
all right.
This is your time.
All right, you guys have some weird
Thoughts
on it. Yeah, I had not thought about the beginning so much because it just kind of flew by. I was watching it and I'm like, okay. I think we'll talk about that more later. What I noticed, again, I watched it in English until the last episode. I had to watch it in Japanese. The voice of, I think it was the king, is the guy from Overlord. I'm like, hey.
I did. It took me a while. I'm like, who is? I know this voice, and I went, oh, Overlord. That's what it is.
Cool.
So I kept wanting him to like be overpowered or something. but
Wrong show, Frank. Wrong show.
Yeah. So it started off. I guess to explain my feelings about it. It started off weird. I felt like it was all over the place. Didn't know what it wanted to be, and then as it went on, it kind of solidified what it wanted to do. And it got a lot better for me. For me, in the beginning, it was like, I'm not gonna like these 12 episodes, and I started liking it. What else? I thought the episodes ended very suddenly. Like I don't know if you got this far, but
it's a spoiler gate.
We'll
get there. We'll get there, Frank. We'll get there.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it what I was talking about.
I know. That's like my struggle with last episode, Trigun. Let me ask you this question, Frank. Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay, then.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel like I was playing the game Reciteer. I don't know if you've heard of that game.
Nope.
Basically, this anime is that game. And
oh wait, I think I know what you're talking about. The one on Steam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one game on Steam. You know everything that's on Steam.
You know what? I agree with that. That's kind of what I got. I felt like a video game-ish anime. Like, it's something I would see happening in a video game. That's, you know what? You put it
It's within the first 6 episodes, I think.
That's
fine. That's fine.
There's literally this part where the adventurers get there, and she's like, it's exactly what the game is. Like, she sells stuff to them, and then she's like, let me go with you. And
isn't it also kind of like Harvest Moon? Or I'm tripping?
I haven't played that game.
Kind of.
Where you have to like make goods.
You make goods, and then you sell those goods for a profit, and then do stuff with that money.
Yeah, so
kind of.
That's kind of what I got.
I think the only difference between the game and this is that I think in the game you're trying to pay off a debt of your parents, which is, damn, those parents suck. But in this one, she's trying to retire. And I thought that was cool. How, not cool, but like, it was very realistic. Like, with something like, I kind of would do that, but at the same time, if you have this opportunity, that's probably not what I would be trying to do.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts. So I will say, I'll start off with the positive things. So for one, I guess I did the extra homework and like watching something like this is a light novel series, right? Sure enough, it is a light novel series.
Comes out at the end of this month. Double check.
Oh, there you go. And apparently this was made by a studio called Les Deuce.
That's good. That's not good.
Maybe I'm mispronouncing that, but that's how it looks like.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
So this is, and I looked at the shows they ever worked on, never saw it, so maybe that explains the budget and animation restrictions we got on this show. But on the initial setup, so I knew nothing because this was Miles picked, and I should set up and say, once again, if this is, you should go back to the last episode we did, because each of us picked a show, we've watched a show, and now we're reviewing said show. So this is Miles picked, and I'm not the biggest isekai person, so I kind of had like low expectations because it's just, there's 10 of them each season now these days, so I was like, uh-oh, here we go again. But it was interesting, the realistic aspect of like, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna have a power fantasy like most isekais usually tend to be. This was like, what if I made some money and played the economics between the two worlds? I'm like, oh, that is interesting. It made me think of Spice and Wolf. Despite I'm not the biggest fan of Spice and Wolf, I appreciate in the uniqueness of that show. So it made me think about that, and I enjoyed the concept initially. And then the other part I really enjoyed was Mitsuha, the main protagonist of the show. She knows how to play the game, and she's basically sometimes conning people to be like, oh, I'm this helpless little girl, help me please, and then put them in a favor in a situation where she would become profitable in it. So a true American, deep down, she must be Japanese American, right? I did like that aspect. That was different because usually the characters don't have that kind of aspect to themselves. To see that as the main protagonist was pretty interesting, and she does a pretty good job using that throughout the whole series of, taking advantage of the situation. Kind of smarter than the average isekai protagonist character. So those are the highlights for me of this show.
Here we go. And
do we want to talk about the negative things without going to spoilers? Is that
we can go into spoilers.
Oh, now he can go.
Now you gotta give people a chance, Frank. I won't do spoilers just this second. I will be more broad stroke with this. Okay, so like I said, the animation is not great. I've seen worse, but this is not great. It's far. I think I maybe said something similar when we talked about the Iceman and the cool female colleague, where it was on a tight budget, but it did enough to go across the finish line. There we go. This show did not make it. So the animation, but whatever. I'm more about the story and characters. Here's the problem. In the beginning, she seems like a smart character, and she's like, oh, I gotta make sure I don't bring in guns, or I don't do certain things to destroy this universe and this world. But then as the show progresses, she just says, fuck it, whatever. Here's a machine gun, I guess now. So stuff like that, and then so she does that stuff, which is kind of like, what happened to the whole concept? We don't want to destroy this whole world's like the way it functions. It's almost like Star Trek, where
the Prime Directive.
We don't want to mess with the world because the causes and effect is gonna the whole this planet to disarray. And so she throws that out of the way. And then the other thing is, for as smart as a character she proves early on, she does like a lot of stupid things, like, oh right, I shouldn't do this because if I do that, this is gonna happen. Oh right, if I do this, this is gonna happen. But she keeps breaking her own rules like constantly, somewhat early on.
Kind of like a Subaru, right?
Yeah, so it was just kind of weird for her to be like really smart and then also really dumb at the same time. So, and I know they do it because it's funny and it allows for drama to happen, but it's just kind of like, I kind of wish they picked a lane for her. It was a little weird. And then the other thing is, early on, as you vaguely mentioned, Miles, what's up with the dead family? Why? What's the point of them? I thought early on, I was being optimistic and being like, because I think in episode 1 or 2, where she meets the other family and she kind of has the slip up there, I was like, oh, she's going to like search her. She hasn't really dealt with this conflict or this emotional beat in her life, and she's going to slowly go through that now, hanging out with these people in this new world. But that just went out the window too. So it's like, okay, so I guess all the almost like, what was the point of having the dead family and then the weird otaku brother who would show up and just say, it's like, it's fine, but kind of, it just felt like a very like light novel anime thing to do just to do it, because it's like, oh, this is what the nerds expect, so here you go. So like I said, it's just, once again, some like decision making on that was just kind of weird.
Well, and that's why I want to read the light novel. I know, or the manga, or the manga, the other one.
Maybe.
Because I feel like it probably makes. I feel like we're skipping a lot of like time because we don't have time for it, right? That might be an issue, because obviously I think when that moment when she literally she thought like, oh yeah, everyone knows dead, literally, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that does impact somebody, because like, she doesn't like.
It's all a dream.
Yeah, it felt like.
But I felt like they kind of like, like you said, we moved on. It was kind of remember like canon. We're just gonna move on from that, and we're just gonna move on.
A little bit, yeah.
No, it's like, well, didn't that just happen?
That's fine.
And my memories are gone, and nothing.
Here's the new arc. Forget about it.
I was like, it was like very jarring. For like when we got, especially more. Not to the later part where it's like you said, pretty much the rules. Like, what are the rules? F the rules.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. So it's like that, and then plus the going along with the rules of, for her, it felt like the writer with the same question, like, what's the point of this show? Remember, the show was about saving money and economics and this and that, And then it just became, what if we had soldiers showed up? What if this happened? What if that happened? What if I gourmet the cook? I became the Iron Chef of this world. It was just like, I become the wedding planner of this world. It was like, what happened to the store and selling goods?
I still feel though like the wedding planning scenario, or like the debut of the daughter, the grand ball, right? I still fit parameters of the shop, right? Because she's trying to expand her services and she's trying to. That makes sense, but the whole fact that we got to the part where the PMC comes in and she's lock and loaded, and now we're doing
fought Godzilla.
We're doing a power fantasy all of a sudden. Like it was very jarring
because and I haven't seen it, but there's an anime out there where I think that's the premise of the show is like, what if the military, the real world, fought like a fantasy world?
Wasn't a Gate, right? I think
that sounds right. So it's kind of like, and I haven't seen that show, so I don't know if it's good or bad. But I was just like, what the hell? We switched anime now. It's like what happened to, I'm going to open the store, I'm going to sell the shampoo, I'll make a few dollars, and I'm going to retire. Now I'm fighting Godzilla. Here's an anti-air gun.
I want to say, and the weird main part is that as we get further along, right?
So we're in spoilers, right? That was funny when they shot the
dragons?
The dragon.
Just got massacred. It's like if Fireblood meant like Call of Duty. It's like, what the fuck is happening right now?
That did make me laugh.
It was too much. It was like, oh my god. And then why is she in a dress too? Like, what the fuck? Why is she like, she's wearing like this common outfit like most of the series, and all of a sudden the last episode, hey, well now we're pretty dressed because it's the final arc and I want to look different for the final arc.
I agree with you. I didn't like that.
Yeah. It was just I felt it was a smart show, and then it got dumber and dumber and dumber as it progressed.
I felt like one change we're like skipping a lot of content. We're just trying to get to this part, right? So we're just like speeding it up, which doesn't help.
Yeah,
right?
The pacing was also not great either.
Because I feel like after episode 6, or after we dealt with the ball and stuff, all of a sudden the enemies start going forward fast, right? Like you guys felt like they like halfway through, then all of a sudden the enemies started going like a little fast, and like we're just like. It seemed like, I guess we got here and now we're doing this now. And I guess now she could transport a lot of other people to the other world now. I thought that broke the rules.
That was weird because they specifically mentioned a part where she's trying to protect the people from the goblins.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can't teleport them out. It's too many.
It's too many. And then she does it 10 seconds later.
Yeah, that was inconsistent.
And yeah, how does she, because in my head I'm thinking, okay, because I'm thinking like, can she just transport herself? She just can't transport other things herself. And like, well, obviously other things, right? Because she touches those things. So I'm thinking, if she makes physical contact, she can do it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. That's fine. But then she's just, here's the army of Hummer trucks. Come with me. just superpowers away. It takes them with her. It's like, what? I thought they had like bumper to bumper or something dumb to make it sense. But it's like, nah, I don't know. Fuck it. It's just, that costs more money. We don't got time for that. So fuck it. I can do this now. Because I'm thinking well, she can do this. Why not just teleport to Fort Knox and steal some gold and get out of it?
Well, I feel like to me, I felt like there are a few times in that show would actually explain I didn't see what she does. She transferred back home, and then from home she
and that's fine. I know, but how did she get the army of trucks?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
basically didn't touch each other.
Like I said, right, like when we got to the end episodes, where the rules, everything
just out the window.
We went out, and it's like, yeah, I'll just take this whole army. Don't ask questions. We're gonna go fight. I'm gonna bring my friends.
We're gonna fight Godzilla now. It's time to go. Look at the watch. Time to fight. Time to go.
And again, I felt like after that, it's like, okay, what happened here? Because I thought we're doing.
It jumped the shark so many times.
I felt like we're doing a little shopping, the shop, and the shop's like the focus of the store. But even at the end, the whole episode, she's not even running the shop anymore. So it's like, what is happening here?
It's weird. It's like I said, Spice. What's the name of the fox lady in Spice and Wolf? Holo?
Yeah, but
it's like she just bust out like an M5 just weld on some fools,
What were you gonna say, Frank, earlier about the goblins?
Oh, yes. Because I wrote in my notes that the episodes end suddenly, and I feel like that scene wasn't over, and they're like, well, the episode's done.
No, you're right. I felt
that was a weird cut. Yeah.
I felt like it was weird that it kind the last 3 or 4 episodes, they were trying to do arc all of a sudden now, and they're all connected.
No time.
But you literally say okay, the budget, we don't have time to just cut away, and then the song played, and I was like, huh, what? It was very I guess we're done for
And
this.
then what happened to the Beast Master that was in the front in that sequence all the times, but the time it didn't matter, they could just shot him and call it a day. Yeah. He disappeared. Oh, how convenient for the drama beat.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the show was fun halfway through, and then when we start becoming Like
That felt like episode 1 fell off a cliff.
Like Metal Gear Solid 4. Like we're just like PMC.
The way they treated PMC was also kind of disturbing a little bit. Like, oh, private armies are good for you. Are they though?
Yeah. Hey, I saw the artifact. I saw the artifact when we got a lot of go out of it. Is that cool, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Who cares?
That's not going to destroy the balance of the world. Isn't that like
it's fine?
How do we get a dragon here? Don't worry about that. It's fine. I was like, but Harvard, we got it, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna make new tools of this. I might have destroyed the human race.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's just, yeah, it's. I don't know, man. It's a lot.
But you liked it, Frank?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you guys to finish so I can.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. You want?
Oh, you're done?
I mean, I think I said everything there's to say.
I guess we're done for the podcast. I guess Frank's waiting for the moment.
No, I just, I wanted to let you get it out. It's okay, Yar. It's okay. I think you guys worry too much on things making sense, and then even though you know it's not supposed to make sense, so that's that. The whole thing with her, I until today, and you guys were talking about, I didn't think that she died, but
she didn't technically.
But it could make sense, if she died. All this weird stuff that's happening.
But that's just we're going down the Inception.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was dream the whole time.
Hey! You say you were done.
I make no promises.
The way I saw this show was, one, it was a fun thing to watch, and it was interesting to see, somebody modern in the past, what kind of stuff, how they would deal with something, even though knowing the knowledge they know now. I thought it was kind of silly how she knew so much. Like, that brother must have been the Nobel Prize winner. Like,
yeah.
That's how I remembered Dr. Stone.
Yeah, that's why I kind of got a Dr. Stone.
Oh, that makes sense from that angle.
Yeah, so I was like, damn, this girl, this girl must have, like, gone to Harvard and Princeton and whatever Tokyo's university is the best one. So that was like, I thought that was unrealistic, but I guess to explain the stuff she was doing.
Right.
Some of my favorite parts were when in the beginning when she's testing out her powers of language, which again is really weird. It's this cat tells you can do stuff, but I don't care about it. I just thought, I was like, is she speaking Spanish? What's going on here? I don't know if that happened in the Japanese.
I don't remember.
She didn't.
No, well, I think you're talking about the part where I think she went to when to PMC the first time. She had to speak. I think like.
Oh wait, are you talking about the person in the front of the convenience store?
Oh yes, because they talked a different language.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. In the Japanese, I think it's just she's speaking English.
Oh, she speaks.
Oh yes.
In the English dub, they speak Spanish.
Yeah, she's like, ¿De dónde eres? Mexico. And then she's like, oh, so it does work. And it's like, I just thought it was funny.
It was English.
She's like from New Zealand in the Japanese.
No,
which I'm still confused on that scene because my brain was, so she talked to this New Zealand and I guess guns are cool in New Zealand, so she went to New Zealand?
Yeah.
That was my thought process on that sequence.
I said, anything to do with the PMCs and all. Like,
how did she find them?
I felt like
right?
I felt like the author wanted, like, I want to do some the war action.
Okay, so PMC is the private military?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Frank told me that his favorite episode was the one with the adventurers, and that was a funny episode.
Yeah.
That was one of the better ones, for sure.
And
what I thought was so funny about it was that she was like just selling. She was like a sales.
Right.
That was so stupid. She's like, oh, look,
you guys are going to sleep out here in the cold? You guys don't have a tent? You guys are idiots out here.
It reminded me of when I was in middle school. I went to the swap meet and I bought this bag of candy. It was like $2.
Oh, nice.
And it had like 50 pieces.
Ooh.
This was way before inflation. And so if I sold like, each for a quarter or something.
Right.
I would make way more than I.
You got it.
So what I would do is I would sell them for 10 cents. But I would tell them, but if you buy 3, it's 25 cents.
There you go.
And everybody would buy 3.
Exactly.
and it's just, I mean, I don't know. That's probably down the line I could have gone, but then somebody was like, and I was so stupid for listening to this stupid kid that's like, you can't sell things here.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, really? I didn't know it was illegal. I guess I'll stop. And that's how I ended up. But I was going to mention the part that was my favorite part. And it was just funny where she comes out in the bikini. And I was like,
oh,
I thought she was going to like hide from them. And I don't know. Is she trying to sell them a bikini? I don't know. But it was weird. And I thought the reaction was like, oh, cover up. I just thought it was really funny.
It's very anime.
And it was like, oh, wait, it does make sense if it's just kind of like, I didn't see it as another world. I saw it as the past. and it was
Oh, I see.
yeah, they would be more shy about it.
Right.
And then she was like, but this is normal. And then she shows them the magazine.
Yeah,
And
I'm not crazy.
And I was thinking that, and the guy's like, talking business. How much for the magazine?
Oh yeah. Is that for sale?
And the magazine is not for sale.
What made it funny to me was that, you know, like the swordman, or like the guts looking
Just
one.
discount guts.
Yeah, and then like his eyes turn like all like cute, like when she would show him something. So it had his moments. I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
like it was
the first half was
Well, I
good.
say the first half was
last
fine.
half not so much.
I felt like we were still doing the shop, and we're selling things, and we're getting ventures.
Yeah, we're greasing the nobles.
I thought that was a better show. But then we start going with the hiring at PMCs, and then we're starting military might, and we're starting to just literally fight against a dragon.
Dropping magazines on these night fools.
And it's like, and it's weird, and especially like guns. Like, wouldn't that like jar everybody in this room right now? Like the fact that they have anti-air tanks. They have like, it was like very. I was for a hot second I was watching a different show, because it was so disconnected from what we saw earlier, and her just like being trying to be a more reasonable, calm, collected, more very smart person. So now like
time for war.
Now it's time to
waste some fools.
Try to drop some nukes around here. It's like it was.
That reminds me. I guess like this is the way I would describe the show. When I took art in college, we had an assignment that you have to put something that doesn't belong somewhere. That's what that show was. Ultimately, that's how it ended up being. You have something
felt that way.
Yes, something that doesn't belong there, and that's why. So like the last part of it, that I kept on thinking about that. I know this doesn't belong here, but this is what
it's happening. The show told me this is part of the show. My brain refuses to acknowledge it.
But I thought it was funny when the dragon would use his force field and they would just shoot it out. It's like, oh, your thing doesn't hurt me, and then they start shooting with the
big ass gun.
So that was stupid too. But yeah.
It was a lot.
And it was funny also how the dragons are like, I'm dying. I'm
get out of here.
And I think he does die because like he flies off and then it just.
He seems like, yeah.
So that
question mark.
That was kind of sad.
He deserved it.
I did want to kind of like go into what I thought about, because I did notice the change. It's not like I don't see it. It's just maybe I'm, what do you say, grasping at straws or just making something out of nut. Hey, you've been mean for the past 2 days. Like
I think I mean every day. Let's be honest.
Yeah. This is actually one of his better days, I would argue.
So the way I saw it is that this show either doesn't know if it's gonna have more seasons and it wanted to get that stuff in there.
True.
Or
I can see that.
It didn't get into things it wanted to for XYZ, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I did kind of see like a deeper meaning behind it, and because I was thinking about her family died, and they kind of like gave that thing very little time, because I had read that her family died, but as I was watching it, I didn't notice that they mentioned it.
It's really quick.
Until like the 4th episode when she cries.
Yes, that's true.
And I went back to see it in French, and then, I didn't go back. It just kept playing. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll watch it in French. and so to the thing is, I think the name is kind of a lie. The Saving 80,000. I think that's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if you think about it, if my whole family died, I don't know what I would do, how I would react. Right. But I do wish that something like that could happen. Like I could go to another world and I can like not think about the terrible facts of life.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is her avoiding the tragedy. And
yeah, I did get that vibe.
Yeah, and she's always remembering her brother. She's like, probably doing this because she wants to stay busy.
Yeah, she's trying to cope. I did get that vibe. I did.
And she's like this really cold person at first.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I saw her breaking her own rules was because when she's like conning everybody, like scamming them.
Yeah.
And she don't care because I gotta save up those 80K.
Right.
And it hit her when she started making friends, and that I want to call him Alfred because it's the guy from Fire Emblem, but that prince that gets in the way of her, getting shot. It kind of was like, you know what? I've been doing things wrong. Like these people have treated me good. I need to, return the favor and like say screw the rules. And that's how I saw it. Like, okay, now, because of this event of this person doing her this kindness, that's when she started breaking her rules like big time. Like, and then it didn't make sense like with her powers and all that. But that's how I saw it. Like that transition from now I don't care about those 80,000 because she literally told the guys is gonna pay him 40,000 plus bonuses. Right. That's why I say okay, she's gonna throw out that out the window and focus on being a decent person. And the whole stuff I think with the dragon was like, whoa, already with this big boss, like we haven't even fought a goblin yet. Like that was like really quick, like to the final boss or whatever.
Right.
And then the ending where she closes the shop and goes to become a lord or something. I feel like that's a setup for season 2, and I almost feel like the name should change to like making it big in another world or something. But I feel like you can make 80,000 real quick, and I feel that her mission has changed. It started off as making 80,000 and forgetting about my tragedy, into I found a new purpose in these friends, and I'm gonna help them grow as my land grows or whatever.
That's the one thing about when you do read like light novel animes, like a lot of it is a lot of setup. And there's another one I could think about. Oh, I'm not gonna remember the name. It's the one. It's kind of Gundam looking. It was pretty popular. Like
86.
86. Yes. It's similar vibes, like where it's like a lot of setup, a lot of setup, a lot of setup. So I did get that vibe too. So I actually wouldn't mind seeing a second season, but it's like a lot of setup. So like a lot of her family, I feel like it's like how you said, like if you lose your family and you're hurting and you have like all this, is like you're gonna be busy, you're gonna be like doing everything to kind of keep it out of your mind. But because I don't know if you, small little detail, but you couldn't even see the dad and the mom's face. Only the brothers.
Not important.
So I'm thinking that at some point you're gonna be able to see him when she kind of faces it.
That'd be nice.
So,
that's true because sometimes remembering is harder than So I think that was intentional, and
so we'll have to wait for season 2.
If there's a season 2, I'm watching it. Like I'm into it now. So I know it kind of changed and all that, but like for me,
it depends if it's a new studio. If they set up the show more differently, then I could agree with more what Frank was saying. But because they did, it's hard. I'm not that forgiving. I just, like I said, because I really thought we were gonna have like every so often we get a beat of her family, because like it's like kind of a mystery. Like I guess they died. How they died? Did she have a good relationship with them? I don't know. How old is she? And blah, blah, blah. Like there's a lot of things about her world you just don't know about. And I thought we were slowly gonna get like trinkles of it, like Trigun once again, but we really didn't get that. And maybe in season 2, but I'm not a very optimistic person in general, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, season 2 is it's gonna be good, fellas. It's gonna be good.
You're right. I mean, if you pay attention and like how it's structured and all that, it's not gonna make sense, and it's probably not the good way how they did it. But that's why I don't like to think too much about when I watch something.
Frank's going over here like that.
He's a kind-hearted soul.
Nah, that's cool, man. It's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. All right. In a way, it's a nice way how you your view of it, right? It's like you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. If you don't think about it, you don't have to worry about it.
The other last plus thing I'll say about the show is watching it. It's like, oh right, I remember watching anime like this, kind of all over the place, looked terrible, but in a weird way, I was kind of positive, nostalgic of like, all right, I used to watch every single goddamn anime out there, and then because this show is like if you look on the anime list chart, it's like close to the bottom, but it was kind of refreshing of like, all right, I used to watch weird niche shows like this. Maybe they weren't good, maybe they weren't bad, but the idea of like I used to binge watch everything and just had a good time with it because it was anime. I had a good time because it said it was anime. So I guess points for that, I suppose.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thing. Like overall, I would give it like a 6. And I mean this 6, like it sounds like it's not positive, but I still think it's a positive because you're still above 5.
Over 10. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's positive. People don't like that, but it's true.
Yeah, like a 10.
That's how numbers work.
It's not a 12 out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
like a 10 would be like, like you're goated or you're S tier.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, 8 are like ones that you really like. And then 7 and 6, you know, they're like, yeah, like I didn't hate it. You know, it was enjoyable. So I would give it like a solid 6. I didn't hate it. So yeah, that's my final number.
Final number.
I just gasped because I don't like giving numbers, but because I think we texted about it, was like I don't want to think about a number, but it was a nice surprise.
Nice surprise, yeah, pleasant
nice
surprise, yeah. So on to the next one.
On to the next one.
So Tomo-chan, so I'll set this one up because this was my pick. So the setup is basically you have. Oh, I need to get the name.
Get it right. And I want perfect pronunciation.
Tomo-chan.
So what's the name of the main girl? So I'm just joking. So the setup is that you have Tomo-chan that's like a tomboy, confesses her love to her childhood friend named June, and he rejects her, and
he doesn't understand.
Oh, he doesn't understand because he only sees her like he doesn't see her as a girl on quotation marks. This is the setup of the show. So the setup is that she's trying to get him to notice her by her being more girly, more feminine. And yeah, that's basically the setup of the show. And my initial thoughts of this show was that it starts off very typical, just very cliche. But there was a couple of characters I felt pushed the story forward a lot. And I think Frank also mentioned this. The supporting cast was good in the show. And I agree with that statement. So it was Misuzu. Misuzu. So
got it.
So the way I to me this show was almost like a roller coaster. I thought it was very typical, bland at first, and then I started liking it more and more and more and more and more. And I thought, oh, this is a really good show towards like the second part of the show, towards the second arc, I guess you would say. And then I thought the ending was a little flat. That's how I felt. So it was whatever's about it. I really liked it, and I thought the ending was a little flat.
Click, and then just a little dive onto that.
But it wasn't bad. But that's how I guess it just didn't. It wasn't a home run.
It got a triple or got
single double.
So
they won on a walk.
Hey, it walks. They got on base.
So that's my initial thoughts on the show.
I did read the manga ahead of it because I know this sounds funny, but
of course you did.
3 months ago, I read the manga because I like 4-panel comics.
Yeah. Oh yes, I saw that too. So it's one of those that you get like one page and then one page and then one page.
So right. I kind of because I always have fun like little titles and it's something I like reading them a lot. So I read this first ahead before the anime came out, and the anime came out. Huh, that's kind of funny. That's a very interesting. Oh, I guess I could watch for the anime. For the most part, I do agree that maybe it is kind of a formulaic to start with. Obviously, he's like, yeah, yo, bro, yeah, good job, bro, right? Mm-hmm. It's like literally like, oh, you should stop wearing skirts. Especially like, he's like, huh, why you do that? Why are you dressing like, shouldn't you just wear pants? He clearly does not get it, I think that's what helps out because it's like, no, bro, let's go hang out. Let's
yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, and like you said, like I think when the support cast comes in a little bit more, and you kind of see like, oh, she starts to, I guess, understand like maybe not question herself, right, or doing other, throughout the whole show. I think it changed the way it changes to be more like, oh, it's more invested in the characters more, right?
All the characters matter too.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone had a little part in this story, no matter like however tangled we've had. Like whatever started like a basic love com, right? I think it gets more. I think more deeper than, but like you said, I feel like at the end, it's like, we ran out of time and we're going to go to the ending. There you go. That's it. We're done.
That's how I felt.
And I think the manga is only $7. So I mean, it seems kind of, or to me, it seems short than I thought it was going to be, considering like, like Komi-san, other ones, like another like volume 30, and they're still barely like, there's like this much development.
Yes.
So I was surprised at how like, oh wow, that's very quick. And then we move on from there.
I do have a lot more thoughts, but I'll wait for the spoilers.
Yeah, I know. We're waiting for the spoiler part. But to me, I feel like I think it's probably probably one of the better shows I think we've seen this season, or it probably is the best show this season.
You guys make it sound like we've seen so many.
Seen so many. It felt like it. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Hey.
It was 2 weeks of like
2 weeks of watching 4 shows.
Yeah, that was tough.
Back in the day, it's like, oh yeah, I could binge watch this every day now, right? And I was like, ooh, 2 shows. In what? In 1 week?
In 1 week, yeah. Because originally we were gonna have 2 weeks. That didn't happen, but we made it happen, folks. Made it happen.
I wonder whose fault that was.
Yeah, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And if he ever hosts the podcast again, well,
Oh, yeah,
I'll talk to him.
One of these days.
I'll talk to him. I'll go find him right now. He's in the back. I'll go find him.
I'm gonna ask Frank. Frank, why don't you go? You always want to go last, Frank. What's up with this?
I don't want to go last. I just
Well,
Then then you go.
wait for the yuck to slide away. Like
The yuck.
Yeah, yeah. You know when you take a shower and you get all that filth out. I'm waiting for
How
it.
often do you take your showers, Frank?
You know what are your initial thoughts without the spoilers?
Oh man, you're like tying my hands here.
The handcuffs are back.
Wait, what? Spoiler.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel. Ooh.
Okay.
Well, the first thing I want to say is that I didn't like the opening at first, and then like after watching a couple of times, I'm like, oh, I'm into it.
Then she grew on you. Okay.
I actually liked it. Yeah.
And I love the ending song. I thought it was like,
Oh yeah, the ending song's pretty cute.
it was cool.
How'd
Yeah.
it go? Da da da. I'm not gonna be able to
Yeah,
sing.
da da da.
Well, I did.
It was catchy. It was-
Especially me, I do. Well, because that's the spoiler part, but I do like the second version of that.
Oh, I
Right.
was gonna ask you guys about
And
that.
I was gonna say that was yes. There is another version. It's quite good.
To finish off my thoughts, I liked it a lot. To rank the 4 that we watched, I'm almost tempted to rank it above Trigon, but this would be number 1 based on how much I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one the most. The reason I don't rank it number 1 is because I can't, in good faith, like I feel like Trigon is more, a general recommend. And this
Yeah,
one is kind
I
of like,
agree.
I can't tell my brother, hey, you should watch this lovey-dovey, romantic.
Anime fans only.
Yeah, or I even had like,
Experience.
I feel like a little embarrassed watching it, like the other ones I watched it in front of my dad, and because my dad's always hanging out in the living room with me.
Okay.
And this one was like, well, I gotta watch it on the iPad because, like, sometimes, and it kind of worried me. I thought
Put on the etchy show instead. So that way, like, yeah, see the boobs. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be more fan servicey than it was.
Right. Yeah.
I was worried about it because like.
Oh, there was that one scene, right?
Yeah,
There was,
They
like,
tend to be.
So it wasn't, which was a nice surprise. I feel like they got to the point quicker than I expected. Like I thought they were gonna like drag things out more. They didn't. And like I mentioned to Nabi, it was
that just has a nice ring to it.
it was the supporting cast was so good. Like I just kept thinking I like them more than the main cast.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I resonate with that black hair girl. I don't think about names.
Mizu.
Black hair girl, blonde girl, and redhead girl.
There we go.
Simple colors. Insane.
Watching them, like watching the show, I felt most annoyed by Tomo-chan because she's loud and obnoxious,
But that's the
but
point.
in reality, I would prefer that kind of like person to be with because
Who's
like,
your waifu, Frank?
but the black girl, I feel like the stuff like if I had to insert myself in that show, she would do stuff not because she's a little too extreme, but she would do stuff that I would feel like I would do too, like because she said nah, never mind. Can't talk about that.
Spoilers.
But I liked her the most, and
she was a good. I think from reading a lot of comments, a lot of people liked her a lot.
And the blonde hair girl was a surprise.
Yeah, she was actually a fun surprise too. Like because when she first came, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again.
Oh no!
Yeah, here's this character. Like we know that they're always in this show, and she was a nice surprise too.
I kind of want to watch it again in Japanese because I want to see if the jokes change, if it has the same feeling. So I might come back next weekend.
I actually think that it's the same voice actor.
Yeah, for her, yeah.
That is true. I was gonna say it's a fun fact.
So I mean, I loved it, and I loved it enough. I'm gonna watch it again probably.
Well, there you go. That did a good job.
I know. I mean, I do want to buy more of the comic now, at least to me, because I
There
feel
we go.
like
We got hook, line, sinker.
but that's just me. That's just me because I like because there are a lot of inside jokes and don't because obviously you can't tell.
There was a lot of inside jokes too.
They know like oh yeah I never this pat yeah there it is.
I'll wait for one of the spoilers to say one of the spoilers. So
Yeah.
I can't say no more without spoilers, so I guess I'm.
We'll save it.
All right, I guess ready. Yeah, let's out of this so we can get to spoiler talk.
So pretty much similar thoughts as everyone else. I was concerned because it's a very anime high school romance comedy formula of like, oh, this guy doesn't stand, I'm into him. Oh, how do I make him understand? Like Nozaki-kun, I think I mentioned last time. The fist bumps, bro. The bro fist bump. So I was concerned, and oh no, here comes Big Boob Lady. Oh no, here we go again. Seen this a million times. But yeah, as everyone mentioned, the support cast is what sells the show, and is without them, this show doesn't work. It definitely not work as well as it does. So they are definitely the standouts in the show. So yeah, the details, I guess, of like the little things they would do, like the pettiness of the high schoolers of them. I guess, of like. Where the Gondo, the black-haired girl, the me basically of the group, would say something negative or mean to like the June character, he would just like throw the scrunchie on the floor, or then he would throw it up like in the rafters so they couldn't reach it. Like dumb little shit like that you would do in high school just to like get back at someone.
Oh yeah, let me
go for it.
That part where they make fun of the main guy.
Yeah.
Because he gets a low score.
Yeah.
And then their things are on top of the thing. And they're like, he did that. Yes, he did. I just thought it was funny.
It was funny because it's just something so dumb, but it's like, I'm going to get back at these people. How can I get back at these people without like, physically hurting them or something like that? Just like that mindset of like, I'm going to get back at these little fuckers. How can I do it?
It happened like 3 times that she like messed up her hair.
Yeah. He would do something. She would say something and he would like, reciprocate in a friendly way.
Or the flick.
Yeah, the flick of the, you won't, it just does it on the spot. So yeah, little dumb shit like that. It's like, oh yeah, I remember. That's like high school. So like, I like the little details like that. I liked a lot. That I feel like a lot of shows don't do that. Gondo as a character, I think, is like the biggest staple in like is kind of like the main character that makes almost all the story beats happen. And like I said, I was able to relate with her a lot, especially during those high school years. So super biased there, I guess you could argue. The jokes landed more often than not, because sadly a lot of times they don't in these kind of situations. But I did find myself laughing more often than not. So that is always a plus. And the other thing, correction. Apparently, I flip-flopped studios. Ledouce made Tomo-chan as a girl, and apparently Felix Film did the 8,000 Saving Gold retirement show.
Okay,
so correction for me.
I was so concerned.
I know you were. You care about these things, like the directors and red hair and blonde hair. Important details. Frank doesn't miss a beat here.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think those are the big things I've liked before. The one negative thing I can say is, without that's on spoilers, is it is a good show, but at the same time, you've probably seen the show in another way, in another form or another way before if you're a big anime fan. So if you're looking for a revolution change, you're probably not going to find it here. But if you're looking for a fun, entertaining show that does high school comedy romance well, I think you'll have a good time. So before we get to spoilers, I would give the show a thumbs up.
Awesome.
I give you 2 thumbs up.
There you go.
So I guess I'll start the spoilers.
The spoilers here. Look out, folks. Oh no. Run to your phone.
We should have like the Mega Man X warning.
Warning. Next week.
So my favorite episode of the whole show was the confession between
Redhead.
Carol.
Nice save. Blonde hair?
Yeah, Carol, blonde hair girl, and
Yellow Ranger?
Captain.
Yeah, Yellow Ranger. His name is Kosuke.
Oh, the guy who's just there in the background most of the
time. But basically, Gondo, she is literally pushing the story forward. There is a scene where she literally pushes Tomo, like she is like just making the show run. I think what I loved about it, Ray mentioned the pettiness of the characters between, but it's also like the manipulation, like how everyone, there's like all these feelings mixed, and you don't really know what's going on. Like they're all like, so like, and I kind of like that they don't ever really tell you, but they imply it a lot. So I thought of Hunter x Hunter, how how like the Chimera arc, they just over tell you, and I think this show like the show doesn't. It kind of was almost like a mystery, because you're like, who has feelings for who? Why are you doing this action? It's like Gondo would say like, I don't understand what she's trying to do. Like, what's her plan? You know, and then she has her own little plan, and everyone's kind of like, and I felt like that felt very high school, where people, I have these feelings, I'm gonna try to manipulate this person to do this thing because I feel this certain way. So that was what I liked the most, and the highlight for me of the whole show was when she told Carol like, oh, he doesn't like you, or something like that, and then she broke character because you have this character that's like, once again this cliche kind of like bimbo character, airheaded, and when she kind of broke character, it almost felt like she broke the fourth wall, like, oh, like, no, like this is just kind of like a persona she's acting on.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my favorite part of like the whole show, and that's when I when you asked what show do you want to recommend, I think that show had just aired, and I was like, oh, this is the one. But the last two episodes after that, I think it was three more episodes, they did feel a little bit rushed, and I think some of the secrets of the show, like for example, like Gondo, like there was like this secret that we're like, what's the secret? What's the secret? I felt the secret was flat. Like
Yeah.
it was like, okay, but like I had to really think about it. It was more, I guess, about the character development, but it did feel a little bit flat. And then it was just kind of like a cliche, like June, like he just oblivious main character dude that doesn't get it. I kind of also just like the animation, wise, not the animation, but like the setup, like maybe the music. I felt like it was a little plain. So I felt they did a lot better in the arc of like the Carol and the other blonde hair guy. Just the way they set it up and how it happened, than between the main cast. So that was kind of like my disappointment of like, I wish that they would have done them a little bit better. But then towards like the very end of the last episode, when she kind of like rushed and she kissed them, I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, you got a little bit more points, but I still felt it was like you just got to third base or like a walk off. It was like you won, but like it wasn't as thrilling,
Not that home run you're hoping for.
To me, I felt like most of this show, I feel that I think as we get more delve into more, probably like episode 4 or 5, we're doing more how their personalities, and you understand more of the backstory about how this whole situation started. Then you see the more drama aspect to it start to unveil itself.
Yeah.
And like because first it was like, no, like you said, your basic generic, oh no, they don't understand each other, what's going to happen? But then when you get to the part like how this whole story started, like back in middle school, right? Or no, and how there all these little mini stories, they all eventually connect to each other to get to just how everything's at right now. And they try to fix that. I bet haphazardly rushed at the end, but I do feel like there's like a more interesting story underneath the surface, of this basic rom-com, like is there, or are they, or aren't they, And I feel like for most characters, once you dive more like how they are, how they, you don't think about everyone else thinks of them, and there's a whole like I've said that there's a manipulation throughout the whole show about from like one character alone that's like making this whole show kind of basically what it is,
right?
And and even she realizes like what she did is like kind of she regrets doing what she did and tries to fix it.
Oh, Gondo.
Yeah.
Gondo, yeah.
But
I feel like I was calling her something else. Continue.
But and the fact is that even like the airhead girls, right? Like Carol, right? She like for like a moment, because I think that's interesting. Like when they don't show her face, when she spoke, like okay, and something seriously happened there in that moment, because we kind of left like the whole look funny, no, that's like like oh no, something serious just happened right now. When she broke down, then everyone started breaking down, and that as you felt the show like became more real per se, right? Like more drama is like, because it's something like normally when a happy-go-lucky character breaks down, right? That's like okay, now something's weird's going on, right? But I felt like, well, I enjoy the fact that even arcs like especially June even like starting to realize like, oh, she is a girl, right? Especially the rain scene, like when she started getting wet, and he's like, no, here's a girl, and he started running, like just running, like I'm not doing, just like running away. It's not, I'm not gonna handle this right now. I'm gonna I'm leaving. Or the other one where like the swimsuit, and like it's like, why you like, come on, you don't be scared of it. And you're like deserve, and it's like, no, I'm just not gonna like just deal with it.
And I guess also like Gondo and Carol, the blonde hair, they were very hyper aware of everything too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times in animes they never know.
No one ever knows what's going on.
Yeah,
they're all clueless.
And they did know what was going on, and I like kind of like the mind games that they were playing with each other.
Right.
And I guess they did have kind of a good conclusion, Gondo and Carol, where she held her hand at the very end when she was gonna reveal the big secret, and so that was nice.
It was a nice moment for sure.
What part?
when she finally told Tomo-chan the big secret of the anime, super spoilers for everyone, where she told her that she purposely told her that she needed to be more girly, but she knew all along that she just needed to be herself. That was already fine, and she felt that she messed her up as far as her feeling she had a chance with him, because she felt like she wasn't feminine enough. So that kind of ruined her perspective of herself to like try to be with them.
But
right,
I mean, who hold whose hand?
Well, because Carol was gonna get up and leave, thinking it was like, oh, this is like a one-on-one private one. I need to leave, but she grabs her hand and says, "No, stay around. You're important now too. You're part of this friendship."
And I did mention to Ray that I came to a conclusion, like a lot of my favorite animes is like where it's like a group of friends, like a build of building friendships, and that's kind of how this show felt too. Even though it's Tomo-chan, like I guess she is the most important character, but all characters shine.
Yeah.
So and that's what I liked about it too.
It was a good balance for sure of the main two characters in the supporting cast, and like I said, you guys have already mentioned they had a role, they had a purpose, except the very minor support characters. But you know what I mean. I'm gonna be I wish they should have done this.
Here's a classic rate.
Well, it's not even that much. Well, it's just I wish they showed a little bit more. Like we never see his parents. Right? I don't think so.
No.
So like that was kind of like that was a little weird. And then like they only say
the parents were like, like, hey, I'm gonna leave the house to you.
Yeah, all right, let them go.
They were doing their job, right?
I guess so. Let Those are good parents.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. We'll see what happens. Like grandkids today. So yeah, there's that, and I guess I wish there was like at least like a little bit flashback of like because they mentioned that Gondo and Tomo-chan's mothers are best friends, and that's how they became friends. But they never explain how they were friends, or at least I missed it.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah, so I guess a little bit more backstory would have been nice there, and then the potential love interest for Gundo who like they forgot about and then shows up like once in a while. It would have been nice if I guess they bounced him out a little bit more.
I guess that's the one that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The one that he's there just for like a quick.
He's there for a joke. Yeah, basically.
Well, I saw the best was the one like where he's like waiting for an umbrella and like, do you have an umbrella? Yeah, sure. Can I borrow it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just leaves.
It just leaves him behind.
And like, well, technically,
progress.
She has no for umbrella.
My favorite one was the one like, all right, I guess I owe you a favor. And it's like, what do I do? What do I ask? Why don't we switch contact number? Oh, that's it. It's like, damn it, I could have got more.
That was funny.
That was funny. I wish we had a little bit more of that kind of stuff happening because it was good stuff. I wanted more.
Yeah, Gondo, she was funny, and then the one scene where there was a flashback and they went up the stairs and then she looked back at June and she was like cracking up.
Oh, and that was funny as well. Oh my god, this girl's actually trying to kill me now. She didn't like me, but shit, I think she's gonna kill me.
You see him flip and he's like,
and he dodged. It's so stupid. I refuse.
That was a funny.
That was stupid, but
That's
funny.
literally when she like pushed the story forward.
Yeah. No, that was fun. Like I said, the show lands its jokes more often than I would. Like I said, I was very surprised about. Anything spoiler wise?
Did you catch the Naruto joke? I told Frank about it. The one where they're playing dodgeball and then they throw the ball at Tomo and then he gets in the way and then he's like all knocked out and he's like my body moved on his own.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. There's a lot of like anime references. I forget, and I thought myself like, oh, I should have wrote them down. It's like, oh, that's an anime reference. Oh, that's an anime reference. Oh, that's an anime reference. There's a couple of them sneaked in for sure. But yeah, I did remember thinking like, oh, I was just good right now.
That was funny though. Like, my body moved on its own.
Literally at the same position and everything.
That was actually a funny episode too when they were like both super like competitive and they're like in the dodgeball episode.
Oh, the dodgeball episode.
So I think that was also like they were funny too. Jun was funny too in his own way.
He had a couple and early on that was like a note. I mean, like, oh, I wish June was a little bit better or more interesting, but eventually they got around to him and made him make sense and fit in the world and everything else. Speaking of which, that was my other highlight I want to mention is I like that aspect on it because most shows usually they'd have the guy who's clueless and has no idea. Oh, she's a girl. What now? Huh? When that happened? But as the show progresses in subtle ways, and obviously in later episodes where he just flat out says it out loud, it's more like, oh, no, I realize that, but I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, yeah.
So I do like they show that early on, and he's just kind of like, well, I'll just pretend it's the good old days, but like eventually that doesn't work because it ain't the good old days. It's not coming back. So I do like how he's not so clueless. Because most anime, like, that's the joke. Like, what? I didn't know.
He's not clueless. That was gonna mention.
Yeah. So he's not clueless.
He knows.
Yeah, exactly. He knows. He's still trying to process that information of like, well, I always thought this person like this, and it's no longer like that. So what does that mean for me? Because I idolized this person for so long. So I thought it did a much more interesting job of that. Because like I said, they're always just like, clueless. What? I didn't know. I like what? So that was really refreshing. It's like the smallest thing, but that was a big plus for me.
Because technically, like, when she confessed to him, he, like, knew that she meant it, but he just pretended that, like...
He misunderstood.
Yeah, but he was just pretending.
He was pretending from the get. Yeah, so, like, literally at the beginning of the whole show, it's like, oh, no, he knew. But he was still, like, trying to figure out, oh, what does that mean? And does that mean we like each other? Like, if we become boyfriend, girlfriend, what does that mean? Or is everything going to change? So, yeah, I did like that aspect. Because, like I said, but it's... Like I said, it's like there's subtle clues to hint at, like, he's aware, and not till the end. And like I said, I like the little drip feeds of mystery, and then secrets revealed.
Yeah.
So I did like that. Is there anything else in my notes? Oh, the one, I guess my biggest complaint is, maybe I misread the subtitles or something.
Oh, here we go.
Were the two blonde people cousins?
I was gonna mention that. They are cousins.
They are cousins, right? I didn't misread that, right? Them British, they hook up all the time, no matter what.
If it's like, 2 generations away.
That's what it's. Second cousins. It's fine. It's like, wait.
And I was reading the manga. I'm sure Miles has read it. There's a scene that I don't know if they showed it in the anime or not, but she's like, I want to touch him because she has like the big boobs. She's like, I want to touch him, and she's like already, but he goes for her cheeks.
Nice save.
But that's what he really wanted.
Right. That's what he thought was cute.
Yeah, and then she like turns around and she's like, damn
it.
it.
This was my chance.
So
that's a little weird and creepy.
I did not catch that.
They say it in one line or 2 lines.
Hey, let's do what Frank says. Don't think about it.
There you go.
Don't think about it. Just keep it going.
And everyone's like, yeah, date your cousin. Yeah, I support you. Date your cousin. It's like, and it's like, well, Japan. Well, maybe they. What's the popular anime this season? Yeah, maybe they do.
But Japan has like all these weird shows where like even brother and sister.
See that?
What's it? Orihime? No, Orihimo? What was that one?
Was it one of the dad with
the
little girl? You told me about it once, right?
Oh, Bunny.
The dad that he had the little girl and then he dates her at some point.
Oh, Sagi Drop? Oh God, yikes!
Well, see, there's
don't read the manga. Watch the anime. Oh my God! I forgot about that.
There are certain things I feel like when you read certain mangas and you read to the point where like, oh, we're gonna go here.
Oh no!
Okay,
eject.
You get the book. You close the book. You put it there.
You throw it in the fire.
Say, oh, Japan, and then you move on for the rest of your life.
There are some times where I'm like, what the heck am I watching? What am I watching? But it's true, like eject. I remember one time I was watching a show and my wife walked in and I'm like, yeah, honestly, I don't know what I'm watching.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
The episode was very different.
I'm in the same boat with you.
Is every episode like this? I swear it's not. I swear.
I'm watching for homework.
It's for the podcast. It's for the podcast.
Wait, you talking about this or just?
No, it was something else. I was watching something and I looked back. I'm like, yeah, even I don't know. I asked myself, why do I do this sometimes?
Why do I watch anime again?
That was good about Tomo-chan too. Like it didn't.
There's a little fan service, but very little when it comes to the big boobs and this and that.
And it mostly did it for comic events.
It's more of a funny bit than like, oh yeah.
That one scene where she started doing like the jumping jacks or whatever, and he's like looking up.
Oh yeah,
I'm doing neck stretches. Neck stretches.
My favorite one was the beach one. It's like, well, zip that up. I don't want to see that shit.
Zip it up and like just
you keep that on. I don't want to see that.
What were we gonna say, Ray? I mean, Frank.
Yeah, I thought his actions made sense even like if they didn't put them together, because something bad happened to one of my family members. Oh yeah, I would be mad. But then they put them together. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I heard them say they were cousins.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think that moment that when the fight scene happened, you see him kind of going berserk there. Well, obviously, they're family.
Right, and that's what it was like. That's why I told myself, like, maybe I misheard it. Maybe I misheard because they didn't talk about it for a while. And it's just like, oh, it's just like family love and cousin love, you know. Oh, I gotta, you know, because it's like, oh, my sibling, I gotta protect my
I gotta
sibling.
protect my
But then they
family.
say it a second time, I'm like, no, okay, well, I tried. I tried to convince myself, it didn't happen.
Maybe I totally missed that cousin line. That's why I kind of really enjoyed that part more.
Right.
That I just thought it was two white people.
They don't look the same to me.
Well, I guess I wrote some things down. I'll mention them.
All right.
Did you guys notice that every episode was like 2 episodes in one?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's like 4-panel comic shows usually are like that. You're like they do like a set of runs like School Rumble does like a da. You know, it's common, I guess, for those kind of things.
Yeah, I kept having to like wait, did I finish the episode? What's going on?
Oh,
I was like,
I see.
So and I caught on, I guess, too late.
Yeah, if you're not used to that can be jarring.
I thought it was funny when she gave them these rice balls and they had
the
I was like,
sardines.
damn, those things was horrible. Like that was terrible.
True love.
Like I already mentioned, the supporting cast was great. I think Ray mentioned something like he identifies himself more with the black girl.
Black Ranger.
That sounded weird. The reason I kind of feel the same way, but not too much, because I think she was like, I don't act like her. But the part that I did notice that I felt we had in common was when it was like she looked at Carol as like, I'm onto you. Like, I know you're not just cutesy, you know.
Right,
There's
right.
something else going on. And I was like, because I kept thinking that, and then she said, I'm like, hey, me too.
Me
Like,
too?
hey. You know, kind of like when two runners run into each other in the morning, like, hey, you're crazy too. I thought that was cool about her. What else? It kind of, Tomo was the least interesting person,
True.
but like if it was real life, I would like her the most.
Waifu.
Maybe. Well, you know what? I was thinking like, hey, it'd be cool if there was like a red hair person in real life.
I mean,
They do exist.
I mean, but you know, they say redhead, but it's really orange. It's really orange. It's really orange.
Wait.
You mean like the bright red?
Yeah, like
you want that anime hair.
Yeah, I won the Super
It's called
Saiyan
Anime
Rose.
Expo.
Yeah, it's like wait, what? Like hold it.
I thought like so like you start dating someone and then like you get like a present it's like to dye their hair. It was like, now go.
How to express your kinks to your significant other.
Okay, that's another podcast.
And I think despite me liking, you know, what Black Girl does, the blonde hair girl, I'm sorry if I don't remember the names. Carol. I thought she was the funniest because like she was always around and she was always give like these one-liners where it was like, she just hit it right in the spot.
Right, yeah, the timing.
There's this one part where I don't know which one I think it's Tomo. She keeps saying, I don't know what he means. And then because what does he mean? He likes me. And then she's like, I think he means he likes you.
Yeah. The
and then she said, I think he means it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, I thought that was.
She would do that.
She had a couple good one-liners.
Like pretty much everything that came out of her mouth, I was like gold for me.
She was like the evil, smart genius out of the group, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was really fun. The other thing, my favorite non-comedic scene was when they were, I don't know if it was a bonfire or I think it was after like some
the school festival.
And they were like dancing, and then she's like, "Don't do that, because you know they're gonna think, you know, that we're together." And he goes like, "Oh, well, they're not wrong."
Right.
And then she runs away. I thought that was by far the most romantic scene. Kind of reminds me of the ice scene from The Ice Guy, where that was the moment. And then I feel if they would have had that at the end, it probably would have made Navi like the show more, the ending.
Oh, I can see what you mean.
But the whole, you know, big moment had happened, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, we gotta get approval. Like if it was this was the old days. You're like, no, don't just go out.
The episode 13.
I think that's why it kind of was like, it makes sense, but at the same time, do you really need it?
Yeah,
like,
kind of like Ivan said, kind of fell flat a little bit.
Yeah,
at
but
that
I felt like Year 1, 2, 0, like they really felt like we're not gonna end our season from this, so they want to wrap it up so that way whatever happens, we did it all.
Yeah, it felt like you don't need another one, and in fact, if they do that, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, is it like, I know you're a girl now, or what?
At least I think Ivan said this, but like the one up at the very, very end was like, oh, I guess that's kind of cute, sure, I guess. Yeah. Like, oh, you're gonna do that? Well, then I'll do this. Fuck you.
And I think Navi mentioned it.
Just always sounds so
it's nice. A fish. Got to switch the names and credits now.
Yeah, Yarg. It for the longest time, I kept thinking, is the black hair girl lesbian? Because it looked like the stuff she was doing was sort of it almost seemed like she was in love with Tomo, and I kept thinking, are they gonna go there or they're not gonna go there? They're gonna go like it.
Well, it was heavily implied that basically she was, and she had to kind of suppress her feelings, and then even Carol had a line towards the end. She's like, I'm just your friend. Like, I
Was that?
yeah
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a thing. I think.
No, she said, because she told her at the very end. I know she kind of told her, I know you have a lot of feelings, something within those lines, but just I am just your friend. So she was basically in love with. It was heavily, and that's the thing, and I kind of like that they didn't really say, but it was two things because I actually read up on it. So she did have feelings for June, and she kind of there was like also a lot of like bi implications that she had feelings for Tomo, and June also did kind of have feelings for Gondo. So they did kind of have feelings, but what ruined that relationship was that he went on the freaking bike ride.
That was a terrible first thing for sure. Man's got no game.
So that relationship just really ended because of the bike ride. But yeah, and that's where that was another something I also kind of like, that it was like all these like because when you're in high school, you do have like all these kind of mixed feelings,
Right,
Like
true.
I think that was another aspect I did enjoy. But basically, from what I understand, she was in love with Tomo.
Yeah,
And she
Aw.
basically needed to let her go. So they weren't happening because she was interfering. She, in her own way, she was like manipulating
That's-
for it not to happen.
that's also how I saw. I'm like, she finally decided. Now I'm gonna let you guys be together.
Yeah.
Aw,
So
I
she
really
was,
didn't get that. Vibe.
No.
yeah.
Oh.
She
I thought it was more of a.
I guess what I thought, and just because I probably read more of the manga, but to me is that I felt like she was doing all this because she can't. No, she's trying to manipulate everything behind the scenes. Like she wanted to make. She wanted to help her friend up at the same time. Try to get back at Jim, but it's a whole. I think there was more thought into it than any like repressed feelings, things like that. But to me, I felt like, and then she realized that she made a mistake, because more like almost kind of more just like she accepts, like, no matter what you do, I'm still
Yeah,
your,
she
your
felt
bud, no
bad.
matter what. Then eventually got to her point, and she's like, and that's when she might told her, like, basically, I messed up, and when no matter what, no, she's going to be her best friend no matter what evil she does or anything like that. I think that's what kind of snapped her kind of in a bit.
Mhm. I think that's the part that I thought it was a little flat too, because like it was like this big mystery, like what is
Right.
the mystery? And it's like the mystery was just that she told her that, like, oh, you're just like not girly enough for him or something.
If
like
she
that.
would have said that I love you, that would have been
Well,
like,
that would have made more sense. But they do. But every anime does that, where they always do like they'd always see in like early on in episode 1 or 2. And I killed 1 million people, and then you find out like, oh no, he didn't. He just feels like he did when he's not really responsible.
Yeah, so
That's the way it came across to me when that
yeah.
regards to that.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those, so that's why it felt a little flat. But I guess when you really think about it, it kind of makes sense, because it did kind of shoot down.
Well, it weighed her
almost-
down. It made her
Yeah.
feel bad and guilty, and it affected her.
Yeah. So but when it like, I think it was also how they did it, like the setup, because they were like just in the classroom, so it just felt so like just, oh, it's happening now.
Right, now's the time.
This is
We ran out of time. Now it's now or never, fellas.
So maybe it would have been a little bit more of a, maybe how you mentioned the bonfire, like where
Mhm.
like the
Right.
finally say things. This is the moment where but it's like you're like in your break, and,
Right.
like, this is
After school.
Well, I
Yeah.
think they're trying to make it more normalized, not trying to do the obvious cliche. Oh,
Over
okay.
dramatic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it both ways, I suppose.
But to be honest, unless I could read the manga, I don't know if it was intended that way, or just because we're running out of time, we need to get here. Somebody's gonna cut. We're gonna just slap this together and we'll figure it out.
it does feel a little rushed.
it is a little,
But I think
definitely on the anime side.
But I think like it seems like it's funny, because I feel like, for example, the Saving 800 Another World, I feel like they're trying to set up a second season. Like, hey, look, guys, it might happen. Maybe probably not get another one. Well, it's like, I'm not sure we're getting our season, so we're just gonna rush.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't even have enough material.
Yeah, I'm sure the manga ends, so they would have to come up with new material, and they don't. Especially like anime, it's like that is the climax. Confession. All right, that's it. Will they? Won't they? Is it gonna last long? Are they gonna get married? Are they gonna have kids? Where are they gonna move?
we'll
what are they gonna
find
do for a
out.
living?
it's gonna be like Clan too.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is like the only show that actually ever does that, by the way.
I did enjoy too, like the whole like 3DS thing.
I just made me feel old. Once again, because then it's like maybe think of like Anohana, where at the time they're rocking the Game Boy SP. It's like, oh, we're young. And I'm like, oh god, once again, I remember the Game Boy. Game Boy.
About that 3DS, I like, even though it happened in the beginning of the show, I like how when he explained that when he found out that he was a girl, and how he goes back and thinks about it like, wait a minute. Like,
all right, this thing happened. This thing.
I thought that was cute. And one last thing I wanted to mention was I felt like the two white people, Carol and
the Europeans.
I feel like they got together on a whim of the black girl.
That's what she was always pushing the story forward.
Because she was no, but it was because she was like, I'm concentrated on Tomo and you know doing her stuff, and then she's talking to Carol and she's like, you can't figure me out or something. He's like, well, you bet, and then she just tells him like,
right,
he doesn't like you. I just thought like it was like off script from her. It was like oh, fine, I'll get you two together, but it wasn't her like in her plans. Like I don't even care about you. You're just around because you like Tomo, but.
I think she's a manipulator, so she just likes having the power and the idea of like, I could make this happen if I want to.
Well, yes, you're right, but the way what I'm trying to say is that it wasn't part of the plan. It was just kind of like that girl kept bugging, so I'm gonna do this now.
Right, yeah. That's true. But then they're all petty and kind of dumb sometimes. Yeah. Like, okay, she's annoying me, so fuck them. I'm gonna do this just to get them away from me for 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was like the cast, how you guys mentioned, and even
it's good ensemble.
What's his name?
Say the hair color.
Blonde hair boy. I like the one scene.
Incest?
I like the one scene where Tomo had him like in a lock. I was like, do you need to talk about it?
Oh yeah, talk about it if you want to.
That was pretty funny too. Or like when June was like, he needed to blow some steam up, it was going hard at him too. But that was probably one of my favorite things. Like, if you need to talk about it, we can talk.
There's some good bit. And then there's the other part where the same guy where I think didn't he tell him something, and then like he was about to tell her, he's like, "What's that? What were you gonna say? Nothing important, right?" So yeah, it's a good dynamic and a good cast, and like it's funny because there's so many shows that if you watch episode 1 of the show, you'd be like, I've seen this show before, but there's a lot more to the show than it looks, and it's just very surprising, and it's rather refreshing. And I guess I'll ask everyone this question because do everyone get what they want to talk about?
Yeah.
So I guess to end cap our anime season, first time here at Taco Otaku, how would you guys rank your favorite shows out of the 4 we saw, being Trigun Stampede, the Ice Guy, I'm trying to remember the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague, what is it, 8,000 something.
Yeah, say 8,000 gold in another world.
There you go, that one, and of course Tomo-chan.
Yeah, I guess I'll put Trigun and Tomo as 7s.
Oh, but if you had to rank the shows individually, like number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4.
I guess
five.
I didn't thought about this.
Those who did the extra credit picks number 5.
I think realistically it will be first Tomo, then Trigun, then Ice, and then the 8,000.
Okay. What about you, Miles?
I think I'll agree with Ivan too, because I feel like the 8,000 one, I feel like it depends on our season, not how good that is. I feel like we're
right. See what the actual direction of the show is going to be.
Yeah, because Trigun was unique in itself because it does something but different. But then there's more of it coming. But it's better than 1,000 because I thought we getting our, like you mentioned before, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh god.
And I was legit scared for that because like look, I'm gonna do things edgy, right?
He's got knives. Look at him. That's why his name's Knives.
But I think they don't try to really recreate Neo anime for the most part,
right? And
try to do something different. At least that makes it unique. Obviously, I think Tomo-chan is of course probably number 1 because it's one that I think has more. It's like the show, like like I said, you first glance going, this is everyone, but like when you like really dive into like, oh no, there's something else here. And of course the cool guy. I think the refreshing part of that because the guys show his feelings, I think is very rare in anime just in general. The guy's like, I think that you think else in the Little Snowman.
What about you, Frank?
Well, my least favorite was the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague.
Switching it up.
And it's because when I was watching it, it was kind of, I was forcing myself to keep watching it. I did enjoy, how it was kind of like very nice animation compared to 8,000, 80,000. I did enjoy the opening and ending. And the story was not terrible. but I thought it was cute too, like, you know, characters interacting and all that. But I like the third would be saving 8,000 gold in another world for retirement. Woo. I kept telling that to my niece, and because she always sees me watch stuff and she's like, "What's that called?" And I'm like, "It's called 8,000 saving 8,000."
Yeah, I don't know.
Anime. It's called anime.
Yeah, I really should see if there's like a. Cause I know usually a lot of the Light Novel knows have
a short acronym or something.
Yeah, something like, oh yeah, it's that show. Oh, okay, got it. 'Cause, you know.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
And then I asked her, "Do you remember what it's called?" She's like,
There'll be a test.
That one I rank it third because as I was watching it, I was just like, I'm gonna watch the next one. I'm gonna watch the next one.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so maybe the quality's not as good as the other one, but it's how I felt when I was watching it. Like I was more interested in the story in that one than, you know,
More
Ice Guy.
happened for sure.
True.
Third, I would put Tomo-chan. I mean, I enjoyed it.
You mean
Probably.
second?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure. Cause like, hold a second.
Whoa.
1, 2, 3.
Second, number 2.
Second part 2.
It's like, eh?
Blue Lock. No.
Final season.
This is a surprise. Second would be Tomo-chan because personally I enjoyed it probably the most. Because I took longer watching Trigun than this one. This one I kind of like binged it like in one day. Because just of how appealing it would be to the general public. Like it's the thing, like for me it's a big thing to be able to watch a show in front of anybody and recommend it to anybody. And that's like a big thing for me. Like Dexter, I love that show, but I can't recommend it to, like, you know, I'm not gonna tell my mom to watch it because it's like, you know, it has all these sex scenes and brutal, you know, gore.
I do all the time.
It's not something I want. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there with my mom or dad or grandma or whatever.
Right.
So that's why I have to bump down Tomo-chan, even though I enjoyed it a lot. And then Trigun would be my number 1 because I could happily tell anybody.
Easy.
That's
true.
Except maybe little kids that aren't into gory stuff too much. But in general, I would feel comfortable if like, say I'm, you know, coaching these 5-year-old girls. They're like, hey, watch Trigun. But that's fine.
Yeah. Like for example, at work, I talked to anime with one of my coworkers, and there's another one that says, I've never watched anime. And I was like,
lucky you.
And I said, I somehow brought up Berserk. And I'm like,
It's good.
And a part of me is like, And then I'm like, describing it, I'm like, and I'm like, I don't know if this is, I'm like, you can go for it, you know, like, but I know what you mean, that there's some shows that they're like more like they're just easier to transition people, like
true.
Full Metal Alchemist, you know.
Yes, that's my go-to.
No,
so you want to get into anime? Have you heard this thing about Full Metal?
Yeah, don't go to Bottom Monogatari because then they'll be there.
Oh my god, they would never come back. They're gone forever.
Yeah, Tomo's it's sort of like an acquired taste. Like you kind of gotta know the person. Like
you gotta be a couple animes deep, and then you. Get
I know
there.
You're into this. You might enjoy this, and
yeah. True.
Exactly. See, like I've been watching romance anime for like the last
20 years.
4 years, maybe 4 years. Yeah, when I really got into
Right.
2018. But so it doesn't feel as off to me no more. But I agree, a general audience, you know, like it's not like they probably wouldn't even know how to respond to it.
Yeah, because my brother, I see him more of a like general, like for me, my brother is like, if you're talking about most people, he would be the one that like, he would never like this.
The marketers are looking for your brother in their demographic chart.
Mainstream.
And mainstream. And that's why even I kind of hesitated between which one should I put first, you know, Trigun or I was thinking about it, but I ultimately I chose Tomo-chan first because
it was good.
yeah,
that helps.
Yeah, but I think they're very close. It's like a close race.
But, I mean, despite the weird stuff that happened at the end in Trigun, I did feel like intrigued about it. I don't know, maybe again, I'm easy to please, but I just seen that big woman tree grow. I was like, oh, that's cool.
So red hair and a big woman. All right, I like big red hair.
I like pretty colors and pretty music.
We learned a lot about Frank's taste today.
Yeah.
So red.
Red. Want them gotta be red. And red, not that fake red.
Yeah.
And you, Yar?
Yeah, for me, it's it would be the 8,000 gold for retirement. It's just like
fourth?
My fourth, my weakest. It's just like I said, if the show was called something more like My Adventures in Another World or something of that sort, then I could I could like it a little bit more because I did like that show, or I was more interested in watching that show like in the first half than versus the Ice Guy and the female cool. Like it was fine, but it was just like the same episode every single episode.
The Ice Guy?
Yeah. So I would have given the nod if the name was different, referring to 8,000 gold, because early on,
because the name lies.
Yeah, the name is a lie, and I don't like that. I don't like lies, and that cake is still a lie. So yeah, it was fine, it was interesting, but I wanted more, and I didn't get more. But maybe if there's a season 2 and they kind of like have a focus finally, then maybe I would maybe rank that number 3 versus 4. But at the current moment, it's number 4. Number 3, Ice Cream, cool female colleague, fine, it's cute. Kind of boring, kind of the same episode.
A sentient snowman.
And you get a cute little snowman who maybe be sentient and know when they die. Who are the real Phoenix of the show? Question mark. I'm still scratching my head on that one. And then I would make I flip flopped but I think I'm finally gonna say I would do Trigun second. Because I had high expectations because of course in the 90s Toonami Junkie.
I'm surprised it's so high.
I did enjoy it. I did recommend, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did like it. Like I said, I wish they threw in a little bit more originality into it, but the twist at the end, which I won't say in case people don't want to avoid spoilers,
I watched last,
kind of helped justify it a little bit, and then you can tune in the episode if you do want to hear the spoilers.
Yeah.
But the reason, because I think it'd be a harder sell for a casual fan, just because it's like a Western in a sci-fi world. And it's like, well, I feel like it's hard. And they're plant people and they're energy. And then
they're people, though.
And there's these giant guns sometimes, question mark. So it's a lot of sci-fi. So if this person was a sci-fi person, maybe it's an easier recommendation. But like, that's kind of a big maybe or maybe. So that's why I think Tomo-chan be my number 1, just because it's an easy, because like most people went through high school and remember those shenanigans. And I think the ensemble of the main cast make it an entertaining watching show that I feel like someone could probably relate to someone on that show easily, and make you, watch it. And I think the jokes work more often than not, so people at least be entertained that way. Maybe not so much for the story beats, the drama, but I think a little bit of the drama, really for the humor, and it's just easy to relate to. It's easy to digest, and it's well animated, which I think because people would see the track and go, oh, real anime fans are already running for the hills when they saw the first 2 seconds of it.
Not a real fan.
Yeah, basically. And so, yeah, I just think Tomo-chan is the easy sell for the mass audience. And I think is personally my favorite too as well, despite it's kind of like good junk food. But I like good junk food.
Well, I guess that's it for today, right?
That's it. We conquered it. Anime Winter 2023 season done.
Yeah,
that sucker?
Yeah, meanwhile, like this.
4 shows out of like 20 this season. Yeah, we did that.
Spring starts
soon. When this episode comes out, probably week 1 of spring 1 is out.
All right, let's go.
Here we go. One more. Oh god.
Well,
yeah. Well, thank you for listening.
Thanks.
Since I was a conductor today, so I get to call the shots. Boom.
And then the real conductor sits behind the curtain.
Not so fast.
JK. Well, thank you so much. So, peace.